Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Mm, mm, yeah.
I think you fell asleep on your keyboard when you wrote the title for this space.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh man.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Uh, what's going on?
GM.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
up, Zach?
I've been up for 5 days straight with just 200 hours because I have more hours in my day than you do. It's because I'm in better shape. When you're in better shape, you have more hours in the day. You don't have enough hours in the day. That's because you don't cover as much ground as I do. So you gotta take that first derivative. It's not about distance, it's about speed. It's not about speed, it's about
It
acceleration.
makes me want to get like some Sergeant Gunny memes and post those on Zach's timeline. You're a maggot. You will conform.
Full Metal Jacket is still a parody I want to do.
I love that Full Metal Jacket.
It's
That's awesome.
That's my favorite. Yeah, that's currently one of my favorites.
Oh man. So the I guess two things.
Mm-hmm.
First, I'm going to try and pin something quick in the nest.
Mm-hmm.
For example purposes only.
What's happening today in VGX,
Ah,
KC?
that's the second thing. So let's get to the second thing first. The auction is concluding today. So everybody's waiting with bated breath to see who's going to buy up the Voyager platform.
When do they announce the results, though?
That is a great question, and I'm actually looking for that right now.
Because if it's Wells Fargo, then that could be you. It would be the biggest news of its kind that I've seen in a long time.
There we go. Bloomberg Law. It's a decent place for info.
Hopefully, it's a much swifter and better acquisition than Elon's acquisition of Twitter.
Yeah.
Look, Elon's acquisition of Twitter blew the fucking roof off all of the analytics that everyone's been treating as truth in marketing.
Hey, I just would like to say this. The bot problem, since that whole thing, has gotten 100 times worse. Like,
Seems like
people are
it.
getting bots left and right. So I'm wondering if Elon has used his wealth to weaponize bots to prove his point so he could get out of the deal.
Well, also though, that every day that goes by, it becomes easier and easier for someone to create a Twitter bot. Right? Like, I want to create a Twitter bot. Fuck, am I part of the problem?
But I'm just saying is like, it would be so smart of Elon to say, I'm going to buy Twitter, then say they lied about the bot problem, pay someone to increase the bot problem, then once the deal falls apart, Twitter stock plummets and he goes back in for an acquisition at a lower price.
Sounds like a great idea to me. It doesn't sound like a. It seems like the same tactic, or at least similar tactic that shorts might use by going on CNN, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They short, right?
I think that there's an issue if he's found like he went and paid some like group in India like $1 million to just like put like a shit ton of bots on Twitter. But if he's not doing that, and it's just because he started talking about the bot problem on Twitter, it's now becoming a bigger problem, then that's a whole different story, you know?
it's one of those things is, can those types of things ever be known for sure? Right? You know, because I imagine in that scenario, you brown paper bag the money to someone.
Hey, I gotta go. I'll be right back.
Sounds good.
All right, so two things. The
Is
auctions,
it the brown paper bag? Never mind. Go on.
Shut up. The auction started at 10 o'clock, so an hour and a half ago. And then I imagine, at a guess, that it's probably going to last until mid-late afternoon. And then there's a hearing on the 29th to confirm the results. So we don't even know if we're going to know the results today. Probably. Maybe know the results today. I also want to say what's up to Real Brian Allen. I know I've talked to you before, but I'm looking at your profile and the credit repair part of it. I, I, I think I remember talking to you about that, but always happy to talk to somebody who works in credit repair. Just saying.
Hey,
Anyways,
hey, I'm here, man. How you doing, bud?
what's
Hey,
up,
what's going on?
man?
Hey,
What's
I'm
good
good, man. How are you? I'm just waiting on this news, like everybody else,
for
Hate
the
it, bro.
Voyager news?
Absolutely, for sure, definitely.
Yep,
Yeah, man. Just kind of
dude.
nerve-wracking a
Because
little bit.
the
What was that?
a little bit. Oh, well, I was going to say because today the CPI consumer price
Yeah,
came out
right.
as well, which kind of tanked the market. So watch Bitcoin plummet this morning.
Yeah, I
It was
thought, man.
fun.
I was buying a couple dips on a couple things, you know, trying to add up a little
I,
bit.
I am trying to fight off the FOMO and stay bearish, but I feel as though the floor is rapidly approaching.
I hear you, man.
Right.
I hear you.
So anyways, yeah, man. It'll be interesting to see what happens today with Voyager.
Yeah.
Um,
Who do you think it would be?
Dude, I don't know who it. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I know who I kind of hope.
Yeah.
Like before I say this, who do you hope?
Well,
What's your hope?
initially, I thought it would be Fidelity, but when they came out with that news about them doing their own brokerage or exchange, I thought, nah, it can't be them now. So I think it'll be Binance.
Binance is an interesting pick.
Yeah,
My hope is institutional banking like Wells Fargo.
I like it. I like it.
I'm not even a fan of Wells Fargo, but even if it was Bank of America, who I fucking hate Bank of America,
Right.
I would still feel better about that.
I get it. Because they have a lot of value, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
assets, and they can make it work. I believe. Hopefully,
Yep.
they value the platform as much as we do and the token. But we'll see about that.
Yeah. What's up, Zavolt?
Where did you see the rumor about Wells Fargo?
I initially got tipped off on a couple tweets, and then there was a couple articles on Yahoo Finance, I think, and I think Bloomberg. I want to say, but it was also on CoinMarketCap. I think it was a multi-source at any rate.
I'm just looking it up right now.
Yeah, let me know. 'Cause always good. The Volks Pepe Radio. What's up, man?
Sorry, yo.
All good,
Uh,
man. Good morning.
morning, dude.
How goes
Yeah,
the Pepes?
they're doing good. I think they're doing. I don't know. It's always fun with them, so I enjoy it.
Right? They seem like a
But
pretty fun crew.
yeah, we're all about good vibes. So we got a really nice community that is about it. So it's just really, oh, it's nice. We just had DJ hours come out, which tattoos your pepping gives you a different background. So different fur traits have different tattoo traits, but that's totally random. I want to stay on topic of what you guys are talking about. Because I came in and I was
Yeah,
just
buddy.
I was trying to listen because I don't know how to contribute right now, so I'm just trying to catch up on like what we're talking about, honestly. But yeah, how you guys doing? I haven't been in here a while. You guys are always together. Every time I come in here, you guys are always together.
So you's way more stable than I am. I'm constantly flitting about, in and out, going back and forth, doing other stuff. But yeah, no, today consumer price index came out, which kind of tanked the general market. Watching to see the updates on the Voyager auction buyout to see what what's going to happen with the platform. Um, and if you look at the Nest, I have a little pin up there, and I'm just super curious for any feedback at all, positive, negative, don't care, anything.
With the budgeting app and NFTs.
Yeah,
Like if you're talking about the concept of like um reserves credit collateral, like so.
so
Yes, it's
so yeah, no, it's okay. Are you familiar with like budgeting apps like Mint or Personal Cash or Capital One? Like, but the general idea on a budgeting app, it tracks your spending, tracks your credit reserves, right?
yeah, my bank does
Shows
that. Shows
Yeah,
me everything I
shows your
spend my
buying
money.
habits, right?
Yes.
This is where you typically spend money. This is when you spend money. Um, so my concept is to gamify that information,
Oh, okay.
right? And maybe your NFT gets a aura glow as your credit score comes up.
Whoa. You're thinking, man. You got something going on there.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm in concept and wireframing right now. We'll see what happens. But that's the idea.
Well, I'll tell you this. I haven't really seen that like idea been, I guess, implement. I just haven't seen anything like that yet.
You mean you
So.
haven't seen people's financial health be spelled out in a gamified NFT holder?
Yeah, dude. I was like, what? What is this a thing, or are you gonna make it a thing?
I'm trying to make it a thing,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah,
Damn,
and
that's
like, and
dope.
eventually you move into having like a Web3 avatar that literally goes faster as your credit score goes up,
So,
or you can move bigger obstacles as your reserves grow and you have more money in the bank.
so it would just show you where what like NFTs you're spending your money on, or like what?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. So it'd be tied to your real world financial health.
Oh, okay.
And let's take collateral, which is like the hardest one. And let's say you're tracking the value of your car and maybe you've bought some jewelry. Well, your avatar will all of a sudden have a sword and a shield. But but
Oh,
but let's say that you've bought a lot of useless trash, right? You've just been blowing cash on a bunch of useless stuff, right?
straight degen moves. Yeah.
Total degen moves. I went down to whatever and I bought like 17 lava lamps, or whatever. Um, your avatar now has like a collar and a shackle on it, or a weighted vest, or it's carrying a ball and chain.
Oh wow. So your NFT is like defining your financial
Your NFT is
situation.
reflecting your
Reflecting
financial
that.
health. Yeah.
Reflecting, that's a better word. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just another way of viewing your own financial health or sickness.
I'm understanding the concept now. I'm
Mm.
understanding it more. Um like people would be like not trying to have everybody, I don't know.
Dude, that is I love that part of the conversation because
Like
like because one side of it is like I don't necessarily want people to know that my debt ratio is super high and my credit's really low. I don't want people to know that. But imagine if you look at the NFT frame in the Nest. Imagine someone had that frame on their NFT Or you could ask them, hey, could you put your finance NFT up?
Ooh.
Because they're in this space and they're talking some major league shit, right? Big words, real highfalutin. They're really pushing, they're shilling in a very aggressive fashion. They're really bringing the heat. And you take a look at their financial PFP, and like you can tell that they're not in good financial condition.
Oh, so like
Totally.
those blue chip holders, you know, that talk
Yeah.
all that talk
Yes.
all that, like they know everything,
How
and
many
then
how
you'd be
many
able to
hardcore
see.
oh yeah, how many hardcore Bitcoin maxis would just get wrecked on this? You know what I mean?
Right, right. All of that is just yeah, because it's just like the image before, and then with your
It's like a financial lie
with that
detector.
NFT, it would show the true
Yeah.
like value of your statements or how
Yeah.
successful you've been in.
And yeah, because you can have somebody making $500,000 a year on salary and they're still in horrible financial condition. You could have somebody making 40 grand a year and they're in great financial condition. So rich or poor, everyone's got to pass the bar.
That's it, dude. That's interesting, man. You came up with this.
Hmm? Well,
The con
yeah,
and
yeah, but like the syndicate and so you and the script people have been my main sounding boards and idea generating, and yeah. But
Yo,
yes,
check
yes,
the video at the top. I actually found
dudes. Ooh,
paperwork.
there we go.
You're not ready for it.
So let's go for special Aldridge. Southern District, New York, Manhattan Division, proof of service. Where are we at? Right to service, right to trial, Aldridge. Mm-hmm. Oh, there it is.
You see it now.
Yep. Dude, my little rumor mill network is not bad, I have to say.
It's great. You
I'm
found it, but you know
dude.
me. It's like it's one thing to look at a newspaper clipping. It's another thing to look at a PDF with lawyers' names on it. I'm not interested in your fucking blog. Take me to the documents. Black helicopters. Got the documents. Black helicopters.
Bullshit unless it's proofed, you know?
Yeah,
I love
I
it,
want to
man.
see those. I want to see weird looking fucking legal formatting before I believe it.
Yes. Sure, if it's not in legalese, it's bullshit. And even then, it's still bullshit, but it's just at least formal. Dude, that's, man, thanks for digging that up, dude. That's awesome. That would be some wild shit, man. If Wells Fargo bought out Voyager platform,
So
holy fuck balls.
let's do some wargaming then,
Hmm.
because Coinbase, that's cute. You know what I mean? Binance, probably not possible because of the political, legal, and regulatory environment. You
Mm-hmm.
understand?
Yeah.
That leaves what? Robinhood and a handful of other companies.
Basically.
Let's say that you see the tweet that Wells Fargo is the clear leader of the auction.
Mm-hmm.
What do you wish you would have done before that news came out?
Bought VGX. I should have.
What?
I had $1,000 on standby to dump in a MetaMask and buy VGX on MetaMask and didn't do it. I wish I had. I'd be selling it right now. Before the auction news came out, I'd be taking gains. I'd leave $2,000 in.
Oh, so you think buy the rumor, sell the news?
Yes.
You asshole.
Yes.
You're an asshole.
Yes, I am. Thank you
It's supposed to
for the
fold.
recognition.
Don't you understand the culture? Aren't
Fuck
you a
community.
part of the culture, or are you a culture vulture?
Community is a sucker's play. Community is a
Sorry,
sucker's play.
how dare you? We are community driven, right?
Don't you see the value in community? Don't you understand? I understand that in most scenarios, communities looked at it as a exit liquidity, and at best case scenario, it's a
Well, it's
utilitarian.
interesting that if community is everything, what happens if they paid off the fucking community manager? Can you trust that person? It's all about community, right? Well, okay, who's the leader of the community? How do they get paid?
Well, dude,
Oh,
look at
fuck.
big. Hey, you know what? It doesn't matter though, because there's that tipping point when the money starts going in. People are just looking for reassurance that the money they've already put in is in the right place, and that's why Big T had such a following because he was very consistent with his message, and he was providing comfort to those who'd already invested. And
So it
so
was like make America Voyager again, kind of,
basically, yes, yeah,
right?
total MAGA stance, yeah. But if you do that, and he did it well, it doesn't matter if you're getting paid. He was blatantly making money off of referral codes left and right, promoting how much money he'd made in the year. And people were like, yeah, good job. I'm glad you got paid, man. Really appreciate the work. And it's okay, sure, you're paid. Cool. What's the information? Like, you can be paid and people still don't give a shit, even if you're doing a shitty job. Because their fear and greed overrides the rationale.
You know, if I was a community manager, I'd be like, first of all, fuck Bitcoin, fuck Ethereum, fuck all digital currencies. What?
Sorry, what'd you say, Zavolts?
Oh, nothing. Never mind. I said what?
What? What? What the hell are you talking about, boy? Digital assets are the wave of the future. Don't you know we're going to change the world?
If it's a way with
Whoop. I think we lost you, or I'm lost. No, we lost you. And the Lord said, you will invest in the blockchain. Good Lord, save your soul from the eternal damnation of fiat. Ah,
Just buy a Tesla.
just just buy a Tesla. All your problems are solved if you just buy a Tesla. If you buy a Tesla, Elon Musk will come to your house and jerk you off. That is the power of buying a Tesla. Elon Musk, softest hands in the world.
That's the alpha of the day today.
Make a hell of a commercial.
Bro, how many people are going to Elon Musk's DMs?
All the perv bots just flooding into Elon's account.
Hey, I heard you have soft, small hands. Talk about a good time.
Are you creating any static electricity with that?
I got some electro power electro no, what is it? Electroconducting gloves that with friction creates electricity.
I was just gonna go to the electrified nipple clamps to make it simple,
Yeah.
but
Static electricity.
there you go. Static electricity for Bedenism. Hashtag Elon Musk.
Can you imagine if like somebody posts that shit and tags him and he actually looks at it and he's like, wait a second, what? And then he's like, he just comes out, I got these new
Everyday uses for your Tesla home battery.
Well, if you're doing a lot of that, you don't have a lot of free time, you can Just buy one of those gloves and you can power your whole home. Once you have.
Did you ever see the Yeti project, the Move to Earn? They were one of the original Move to Earn projects.
Yeti, was that with they had? Oh no, that was Squatches.
Yeah, not Squatches, not Sweaty Yeti. This was the original Yeti. It was just really small project, and they're first launching, and I'm in their space, and they're talking about it. They're all hyped up, and I'm like, well, what keeps me from gaming the system? They're like, what do you mean gaming the system? I'm like, I don't know. Let's say I got a buddy of mine who's like a chronic masturbator, and I just give him my watch to wear for a while. All of a sudden, I'm just banking Yeti coin like crazy. Like, I could strap it to my dog and let my dog run around, or put it in my car tire or something. They did not appreciate that. That did not go over well.
Honesty is difficult to take. I would appreciate knowing up front, hey, you're gonna get shot in the head. You might want to refrain from doing that. And it's strange.
Who's shooting who? What?
Well, I'm just never mind.
The Yetis are murderers.
No, I'm being silly. I'm saying that, if someone can take advantage of something and exploit it like that, you might as well just, end your project. It's a metaphor. Anyway, never mind.
Hey, Casey.
See, they weren't expecting people to think outside the box like you, man.
That'll be a new service the Syndicate offers, dream killing. Hi, glad to meet you. We will now kill your dream. You're welcome. But, that's the sort of thing you want. Honesty and transparency is far better than not. So
you are right on that. I agree with you.
I pissed off KC, I guess. I'm sorry. I always mess everything up. Ooh.
I think he's just like rugging through a portal or something. He's just because he was just up here. I'm good. It's the morning. I'm gonna have to leave shortly though because I have to do the show. But I wanted to pop in and check in on. So you want to attract funding? I hope you're doing well, man. I hope all is well with you. Haven't been here a while. Had some free time this morning, so I thought I'd pop in just to say hi.
The voice behind the woe. That woe was immortalized. You realize that? You got to write that to the blockchain.
Yeah, I'll have to get on that. But no, I just came in to see how you're doing. We got kind of off topic with the whole Elon Musk thing. But
Thanks, man. It's good to see you.
You as well, man. I hope you're doing good. Looks like you got a lot going on with the Syndicate because every time not every time, but a lot of time it's the Syndicate. And then I'm intrigued and I'm like, I want to be a part of that club.
What would the commercial be? In order to get into the club, you have to voice a fake commercial about the Syndicate. It would start off, welcome to the Syndicate. And then what would you say?
We are and we aren't. Still, we're the Syndicate. No, I gotta find like a what's that?
No, I like that. I like that.
Actor with the wait, yeah, I gotta find it.
The Syndicate. We are and we aren't. What aren't we? We are that which we aren't. Yin and yang. Yin and yang. What's the name for the line in the middle? Yin yang? I don't know.
No, just get Christopher Walken to say it and you're good. We are and we aren't. I can't do a Christopher Walken, I'm sorry.
What do you mean? That wasn't bad. I'm getting my mail. my once a day walk out of the house. It's like mosquito central here right now. So weird. It's like, I don't know, and I'm kind of allergic to mosquito bites, so I'm like always freaking out. But anyway, so my cat, I want to know if this has ever happened to anyone. Has anyone accidentally pushed a button and ejected themselves out of a space? And if so, was it like during something you really wanted to hear? Because I was in Cafe Bitcoin, and I put my the cat's crying to get out too. It's so cute. I put my iPhone down next to the TV, and of course, Ptolemy immediately steps on it and like shoots me out of the the session. But then I saw that the Syndicate was running. I'm like, well, why am I over there anyway? So now I'm here. So thank my cat. But has anyone
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach.
What's your cat's name again?
Ptolemy? Yeah.
Ptolemy. Thank you. I hope you're listening.
Yeah. He's he's named after the librarian and best friend of Alexander back in the day.
Whoa.
Cleopatra's grandfather, from what I heard, but
You
I don't
put
know.
Yeah, the beginning of the Ptolemaic Empire after Alexander died.
put some thought into it with that name, though. That's a very unique name. I haven't heard that name in a while. All right. It's been nice chatting with you. So you want to, and it was nice to meet you, Sandra,
Good to meet you.
and Web3 Spider. Y'all popped in when I was in here, so it was nice to see you guys and chat with you guys a little bit. I gotta start this show, so I will. I'll see you around. But
Have fun.
Glad I could pop in here and at least see what's up. Show some support.
Later.
Where's the show? How do we watch? We'll never know.
Oh my goodness. What a scream. What a scream. That's hilarious.
So funny. I met Evolve just randomly. You know how it is when you're in here. You just like, when you're in a room alone and then somebody comes in and you just end up like talking to that person the whole time. Right? So this was when the the Dolly just came out.
Right.
And so I was showing him, I'm putting the video to the top. So I'm showing him like, hey, like, give me a word, give me a prompt. And he gives me the prompt and I started creating it. Right now it's much easier. But back then you had to like wait and shit. And so you just see him, I said, yo, check out this video. And all you hear him is say, whoa, whoa, the whole time. It's my favorite. I put it to the top.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm talking the whole time and I have
Well,
Whoa. No, the art's amazing. I love that.
it was so much fun.
You did that, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, Dolly did it. I typed in the things,
You're fucking brilliant, though. I mean, you and your prompts are brilliant. They're beautiful.
They were, it was really surprising.
Why do you say that?
Just because you don't think it's going to, like, the first time you use it, you're like, this is going to be shit. And you're like, oh, wait.
You could
And
sell
then
you could sell those. They're gorgeous.
it's, well, hold on, let me show you. So what I did is, hold on. So I wanted to just like play with this idea of digital art an NFT. So this is back a few months ago. And so I was like, okay, so NFTs, we know like these pictures, they're like, they're digital, right? But how might we make them seem physical, right? Okay, let's put it into an art gallery. Let's put it into a lookbook. You know what I mean? Things like that. So I put the link to the top because you don't have to pay to mint on OpenSea. You can just like publish and then people can see it. And if they want to buy it, they can, you know, all that good stuff. So
Amazing. Oh, and
yeah.
I see it. OpenSea. Like, see, I don't know. I
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
have to get used to. I feel like I'm using like a beta video cassette recorder, and I'm finally learning how to use like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you're like, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how it feels.
yeah.
You're absolutely right. But you can see in that OpenSea. So I did the spatial.io and VR experiment, and then I put the pictures into a book that looks like it's flipping pages.
Wild. I love it. So
It was a lot of fun.
you could do like a comic book.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like it's by exploring, I was able to kind of be like, oh, okay, I see where this is going. Right? Now, I never knew that stuff like Disco Diffusion were about to come out and change this whole fucking thing. Right?
Yeah.
And I wish I could use tools like that. I'm currently not smart enough.
It must be insanely inaccessible then, because you're one of the smartest people I know.
It's there, for even for the smartest people, something new can look like an airplane cockpit the first time you see it. You're like, what the fuck are all these knobs for? And you press one, and then the engine falls out, and you're like, all right, I'm stopping to press buttons. No more button pressing for today.
Oh, well, every time I think of me doing things like what you just described, my analogy is like the scene, in I think it's Commando, but I'm not sure, where Cheech's, I think his daughter was in a lot of movies back then in the 80s. She's got the rocket launcher on her shoulder. And Arnold Schwarzenegger's in the police truck. They're like carting him off somewhere. Do you remember? So she shoots the rocket launcher, and she shoots it backwards by accident. Hits like a mailbox and big explosion. And then she turns it around, and then she blows up like the police wagon, which has Schwarzenegger in it. And of course, he walks out without scratch because he's the hero of the show, right? So I don't know. That's kind of.
I remember the end of that movie. How he killed that dude. It's fucking amazing.
What was it? Hey, you said you'd kill me last. I lied. No, that was another movie.
That was like, I remember from Commando. That's the way that I hold bags now. You know how he like slightly bends his arms, which looks even more badass?
Yeah.
You know when he's walking with the bag, with the duffel bag, and
Right.
there's like that bent arm? That's some.
That was amazing. He's like the best. I love 80s movies, like action movies. Love them.
Oh, yeah.
And then the campiness is like some of the best, the best. I like campy movies, that make fun of themselves. And Last Action Hero was a bomb. Like, people hated it. And it's one of those, like, Last Action Hero is one of those movies that grew on me later. Like, I went back and watched it like 10 years later. I'm like, you know what? This is not bad at all. It's pretty good. It's still kind of weird, but I liked it, So it's weird how things change over time, and you look back on whether it's life or olives, or I still fucking hate olives. Don't tell anyone.
Really? What about quick salads? No?
I pick out olives. They're evil. They're secretly evil. You'll eat them, and then they'll like turn into like organisms inside your body and like take over your mind, and you'll be dreaming about olives and bananas all day. You know what I mean? So don't eat them. They're horrifying.
So you don't like the mix of feta cheese and olives, huh? And vinaigrette?
I like the first part of that and not the last part.
Yeah, the vinaigrette with feta cheese is something special.
Exactly. But the olives now, they can take a hike. Like if someone puts olives in front of me, I'm picking them out. I don't care how rude it is. I can't eat them. My mom would hide them in everything. Like she was like the Better Off Dead cook that I've been talking about on and off. And she wanted us to eat olives so badly that she would cut them up and she would hide them in sandwiches and all kinds of things. And no one likes an unpleasant surprise. You know what I mean? And I didn't like the taste of them, and getting surprised by them on and off randomly.
It's like the raisin cookies instead of chocolate chip.
Yes. 100%. Oh, that's murder. And by the way, that's a sin. There should not be raisins and cookies together. Why put fruit in anything involving baking? I effing don't know, but it should never happen. It's blasphemous. Anyway, yeah, raisins are uncool. I feel better now. Thanks, Mike. There.
Tell us how you really feel. It's like,
Really?
it's like at
Are you
this point, it's
sure?
like, are olives a metaphor for someone?
Look, there's a troll. I love you. The X. You have a troll. I don't understand the naked part of trolls. Like, why did it become such a big deal when in reality they're like perverted flashers that don't wear clothes? You know what I
Well, I
mean?
would like to know, like, if it is a troll, why wouldn't the hair on the head match the hair, down under? You know what I mean? You
Exactly. You're right. I didn't even think
just
about
want some consistency, Because that's so much to ask.
it. They don't seem anatomically correct either.
And, I think by straying away from the tenets of trolling, right? You know, kind of got a dilution. But, I think an accurate representation. Hold on. I wonder if you could do that. Where you could be like, I guess you would have to take the hair somehow. I need my computer. Because in my head, it's like where there's a lack of genitalia, you would just have an upside down version of the hair.
Yeah.
But that's what happens in my head, anyways. What do you think, X? Think it's a good idea? Bad idea? Sideways idea?
I vote for it.
How you doing, Web3? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be rude.
Oh, you weren't rude. I love olives and also raisins and cookies too. But life's still sweet.
What's your favorite cookie, Web?
I'm a chocoholic. I've been
Oh,
one all my life. I have to go to meetings because it's, I've gotten it down to where I can take one piece of chocolate a day. Other than that, it's just
wow.
the whole world goes crazy. Chocolate chip.
Yeah, I cannot keep chocolate with me. Like I'm vegan now, so it's a struggle to find good vegan chocolate anyway. But I have found a few brands, and I'm kind of happy they're so expensive because I can't. Like if I bring a bag of them back, the bag's going to be gone in one day, and I'm going to be crying.
Yeah,
So
well, we eliminated salt about 15 years ago. We eliminated excess sugar, and the chocolate is a treat that I get. Like last night, I got one, and I savored it until it was completely gone, and that's the way to eat it because once I do that, I'm totally satisfied. I don't want any more. I got the pleasure from it. So that's how I fight with some of the things that I really like.
yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, in one that's good. That's good. What about donuts? Like I like Krispy Kreme donuts. First of all, Krispy Kreme donuts go stale in like an hour and a half. So if you're not gobbling them down, like you're at the your last supper before you're executed in the the chair. If you don't eat them that fast, they're just going to go stale immediately. Do you
Yeah,
like?
yeah. Actually, Shipley's and uh, Spud Nuts, which are
Ooh,
regional little local places, and they make them out of potato flour and stuff, and they're so good, but I have to resist those because I can't control just one nose. So when we do the donuts at church, I sit there and I freely give it away, going, "Yeah, come here, kids, eat all you want.
I hear you.
So get them all jacked up, and they'd be running around. Yeah, let them have fun here. Have some more donuts. Here, have some chocolate milk. So,
We have iced apple cider and sour cream donuts in New Jersey, and they are insanely good. I like sour cream in almost anything really, but in a donut, it's a wonder, seventh wonder of food.
it's like bagels. Yeah, I learned to appreciate certain bagels because the bread is just they're really interesting, and when you use cream cheese on them, it's like the wine that's nasty, and you take a piece of chocolate, put it in your mouth, you sip the wine is just great because the chocolate interacts with the wine, and that's the kind of thing,
Oh
not to be
yeah. Oh
fall
yeah.
fall off the wagon and consume too much.
Right. Well, the golden mean and everything in moderation. And although I'm going to admit this. I'm just going to say it. I gained 3 pounds, and I feel huge. And I shouldn't even like mention this, but I think I'm kind of bloated, and I shouldn't be. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe it's a food allergy or something.
Okay, but what do you guys think about uh, the fruit and nut chocolate bar?
I hate it.
Really?
Hate it. Evil. It's evil.
I worked at
No
Mars.
fruit. No
I worked
fruit.
at Mars. When they come off the line, fresh, the different candy bars that they make, and it's like it's just the smell. You just want to eat all you can eat. You know,
Mm, yummy. I don't like. Do you like fruit and chocolate?
yeah.
Ew. Why?
Uh,
Why do you do
It,
that?
Oh, it's the chew.
it's
Oh.
because it's combinations and
Ooh.
flavor.
Do you like fruitcake? Like Christmas fruitcake?
Uh, it depends on who cooks it, and
Uh,
it because those can vary so much. Because of the way people put them together. But I know, like my grandmother, she used to really make, all kinds of great desserts, and you wouldn't say no to any of them. So, and one of them was fruit cake, the lemon cake, strawberry
I love lemon.
shortcake, all those things, and you know,
Oh, the classics. It's hard to get a good. It's surprisingly difficult to find someone who can make a good strawberry shortcake. I can,
uh,
but people screw it up.
yeah, you can't anywhere you go and they say it's strawberry shortcake, it's not.
I know. It's like, how can you not figure out the strawberry part? Strawberry, and it's not. I get what you're saying. And lemon cake, I love making lemon cake. I do it from scratch, and because my father loved everything lemon. So I'd make him lemon cookies, lemon ice cookies, lemon cake, lemon curd pie, lemon curd. And of course, with the lemon curd, as you know, he just would relentlessly give it the thumbs down. It tastes good, but it's just not my mom's. It's not the same. I'm like, damn it, I have to try again. I must have made him 50 freaking lemon curd pies, and he hated all. He liked them, but they weren't what they were. They weren't his mother's. So I was like, oh well.
Didn't trigger him. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm getting all my childhood traumas out on the Syndicate. So I want a roll of just Sandy discussing her childhood traumas. So I'm sure that Mike will find the time because he's so lazy and has nothing to do that
What
I'm sure he can
what
do that.
about cheesecakes?
I love cheesecake.
Yeah, my dad used to make cheesecake. He was a connoisseur, and that's the other next to chocolate. It's not allowed in the house. I have to tell my wife not to bring it to the house.
Oh God, yeah. I if I go to the Cheesecake Factory, which isn't often anymore, but if I go, I have to decide in advance like what cheesecake I'm having. Otherwise, people are just like, for the love of God, hurry up. because I want to go through every single one and decide like, okay, which one. And not Cheesecake Factory is a little overrated, but they do have an awful lot of cheesecake variety to choose from, and I must try them all. But yeah, I love cheesecake. Actually, I do a pretty good cheesecake too. But I don't do those very often because now, there's no one for me to feed them to. And I get really, once you get past a certain age, weight is like a constant concern. It's like, oh, what's going to happen next? So anyway.
Yeah, so it's like changing, you know, changing eating and quantity and volume. And my wife thinks I'm very peculiar when it comes to that because that's something that I choose to do. She says, well, you need to eat. That's what I choose not to. But I really like things that she makes, so I have to make her make less sometimes, and then there'll be times I'll say, "Well, I want more today," yeah, and it's like, the consistency of like what you said about weight gain is something that you fight with, and everybody does depending on what they eat. And I've been able to steady state for about 3 years now, just eating the right way with the right balance of not excessive exercise, but it's not a perfect weight, but you know, everything's working, everything's good. Doctor, no, no blood pressure issues, no, I don't take any medications, do pretty good, so
Lucky. I mean, you're not
yeah.
lucky. You work hard. You work hard. I hate it when people are like, "Oh, you're lucky not to have any." You know, hey, I'm sorry. So I didn't mean to say that, but I I take blood pressure medicine. It's genetic for me. Like my father, my mother both genetically had blood pressure. So I take blood pressure medicine, but I'm forgetful and I need to like commit to using like a pill box, like, like old people do. And like I forgot to take it 2 days in a row. And I looked down at my ankles yesterday. I'm like, why do my ankles look like so like fat? They look like I'm walking on like stumps, I don't have any, where's my ankle bone? Uh, and then I'm like, oh, that's what, yeah, I've done that before. So I gotta like bring down the edema. Like right now, my ankle bone is like, it looks like Hillary Clinton's calf, like it's frightening, like huge. I love her, but yeah, cankles. So I don't know. I gotta like use gravity to get rid of the water in my legs because I'm stupid.
Yeah, see, my wife, she smokes, and I got her to quit using salt, I don't know, 18 years ago. And now when she buys things, everything's with reduced quantities, or she makes it from scratch, and we manage the salt content. And she doesn't have any issues with blood pressure. She's got arthritis, and pretty much when we eat certain things like out, we have to be really careful because you'd be amazed when you don't eat salt how much salt you find in just about everything that you eat. I mean, they put way too much. So, that's because my mother, she had issues. She didn't start having issues until her 80s with, blood pressure and things like that. So, it's like, I'm gonna conform the body to a certain thing and try to live to that. And if it gives me good results, stay with it. So, and some people, it's discipline. It's hard, and you can treat yourself every once in a while. I think that's the key to keep from indulging is that you give yourself a little bit of what you like alcohol. I like to drink. When I was young, I drank a lot, but now it's very little, only in special occasions, and I really enjoy it. I take my time with it. I savor it. Like I was talking about the chocolate, and I find that that clears any future, any additional desires. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, I think that what you're saying makes perfect sense and probably greatly contributes to, your overall health because I think that a lot of people like become food centric, like, oh, I feel bad. Let me go eat something really bad for me. Like there's this mind body relationship with food that has become destructive over time, because people tie their emotions into, oh, this pizza will make me feel delightful, I'm going to like consume the entire thing at one time. So over the span of years, it's like Pavlov's dog. Oh, I'm happy, I want pizza, like it's all like people say. So when food becomes more secondary or third course type stuff where it's not a priority, it's so much more healthier overall. Because it's funny, because I watched The Sopranos like shortly before I moved here. I was watching The Sopranos for like the second time, the series all the way through, and I never realized every single episode has food in it, like some sort of meal, almost every single one.
Yep.
And I'm dieting. I'm like on a diet, and I'm like drooling. Like I'm like on like pressing my nose against the TV screen, going like, "Damn it, this is so unfair. Why is this happening?" Because I wanted to eat something, and I'm like trying to lose weight, and I'm like, I can't watch the show any after this time around because I don't. The food is gonna murder me. But anyway, I think that it's nice to be able to sit around a table, traditionally, because a lot of people eat and run. It would be nice to be able to do that again. When I was young, I didn't appreciate that. I was always hoping to be like, okay, I want to get up and run and go and do something. So I wish I would have enjoyed that process more of just being, the family tradition of, grandparents, aunts and uncles, family. But oh well.
Yeah, and taking excuse me, taking time to enjoy what you have and enjoying the flavors is something that a lot of people, you know, it, your body reacts to the speed and how quick. Because if you gobble everything, you eat a large quantity, you may not feel satisfied. But if you eat slowly and you savor and you enjoy, it's like fine dining. You look at the quantities in fine dining and you go, wow, there's not much on those plates, but it's not about the content or the volume. It's about the quality of what you're eating and tasting, and that's kind of how I approach meals. That is to take each bite smaller, slower, like pizza. Everybody eats it with their hands. I eat it with a fork and a knife, and I cut up small pieces.
Like Seinfeld, right?
Yep.
With the Snickers bar.
No, not with Snickers bar. I just eat pizza, slow and easy.
How do you eat it? With your hands?
Yep.
Oh, I went when I first interviewed. It was a law clerk job at a law firm. It was my first like law clerk job, and I was really young. And they took us out to lunch. It was like me and four other people, and the managing partner was cutting his French fries with a fork and knife, and I could not get that episode of Seinfeld out of my head. It was killing me, and I got the job with like two other people, but it was just, I'm like, why? Who does? Am I the only one that does not like cut their French fries and eat them with because we're sitting there at this restaurant, it's like a one of those like Houlihan's, it's like a lawyer type hangout, but it's like a bar and the dark wood so, but I didn't know what to do. I'm indecisive. My fries are sitting there. I would like to kind of eat a fry. They're a low maintenance food. It's very unlikely you're going to have a disaster while you're doing. And I'm like, what do I pick it up? Do I get a fork? And then I'm like, is this a test? Like, is this man trying to test us? Like, is he doing something he wouldn't normally do and just waiting to see if we're going to do the same thing? Maybe he's fucking with us. So
That's what he was doing. I
I
think
hope
that's what he was
so.
doing.
I bet he was. It would make sense because he would walk around the office in his bare feet too, just to be just to try to draw comments. But what I ended up doing, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to eat with my hands here, with the French fries with my hand. And if he doesn't like it, I hope that doesn't reflect on me. And I don't know what the other girl did that got hired. I wasn't looking for that, but maybe I was picking. So everybody's dutifully like knife and fork, and here I am like just picking up the fries, talking to him, and you know, it was so weird. That's why I still remember it.
Well, I worked with an Englishman for many years, and I picked up a trait of eating just about everything with a fork upside down, not right side up, and using left hand versus
Why?
right. And, and sweeping things on top of the fork, the back side of the fork, and eating that way. And
Uh,
I found it was efficient. And so now it's pretty much hamburgers. Anything that I eat with a fork and a knife, and it's slow and easy and steady. That way I don't rush, and those that keeps me focused. I'm here to eat. I'm not here just to stick my head in the trough. That
right.
kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. And no, I do actually. I will admit it. I generally use a fork and a knife on pizza because if it gets too hot and you pick it up with your hands, you can like burn yourself, burn your face. My mother would get Nick's Pizza from Nick's Pizzeria in Elmer, New Jersey, every Friday, like clockwork. No, Thursday. Sorry, Thursday. And my father would bring it home. This is before microwaves. My father would bring it home from work, and she would eat it for lunch the next day. And every month she would burn her face on pizza cheese because she would take it out of the oven and she wouldn't wait, and she would just eat it with her hands, and she would literally give herself horrible burns on her face. And so ever since then I've been like, pizza worries me. It's a little, because the cheese can whip around and hit you, and if it's really hot you're gonna get. And my mother was always burning herself on pizza. It's like, how do you even do that? But yeah, so with pizza I will use something, if it's really really hot. And I generally, if it's a complicated food item, I'll cut it up. But no, I don't do that with Snickers, and I don't do that with French fries, not yet anyway. But I hear you, Casey. Oh, Casey, sorry, Casey. If you want to talk, I don't know if Mike's around or not.
Yeah, where is this guy? Oh, he changed out so he can really talk about VGX.
I'm sorry to go on about dumb topics, guys.
No, you're not.
I'll shut up.
Look, there's wars that have been fought over raisins and chocolate chips and cookies,
This is true. This is true.
right? And I think we just need more raisin chocolate diplomacy.
I need to be more open-minded. I'm bigoted against fruit and chocolate, so I'll have to check that out. And
Look, there's a
What,
lot of people
what,
bigoted against fruits.
what about bananas and peanut butter sandwiches?
I will make those for other people, but I think that's outrageous, sir. How
And then
dare you?
mayonnaise and bananas with
Ah,
cheese.
Why would you? Why?
Dude,
what is
Why?
I'm
happening?
telling you, if you haven't had a
What is-
mayonnaise and peanut butter sandwich, you gotta try.
Okay, Webb, I have one for you to try. Now, keep an open mind, but I swear to you, down in Bridgeton, New Jersey, and in Weber's in South Jersey, this was a thing. I swear to you, it's raisin bread, peanut butter, and tuna fish.
I can handle that. I can handle that.
Like people would buy it up, but I never tried it because I'm like, that's way too exotic. There's way too much going on there. But I like oyster bacon, lettuce, toasted sandwiches. Those are awesome. I miss those.
Hey, Casey, just side note, the VGA stuff I told you about, I didn't have my coins and stuff. Well, I found out if I logged in with the right account, I would have them. So they're there.
Ah, there we go. The right account always makes a difference. Good job. And by the way, it's VGX, not VGA. Just throwing it out there.
I think VGA is a display port.
Yeah, it is.
VGX allows you to display things. Sorry, VGA allows you to display things. VGX allows you to make things disappear.
That's horrible, and you're a horrible person.
Speaking of horrible people, so now tell us how you really feel about Voyager. Now that it's not you, you know.
It took away my trust in the system. It took away my trust partially in humanity. Yeah, fucking awful.
So what would it take for you to trust again, Casey? To get back out there?
To get back out there in the crypto field or in Voyager specifically?
Will you ever buy another token again?
Yes. Yes, I will.
What do you think your parameters are after Voyager?
Cold wallet self-custody is mandatory. Only using exchanges to acquire. Fuck LP. Fuck leverage. Fuck arbitrage. It's a store of value, and utility is a myth. Like you can look at like a eGold Elrond system. You can look at what's the fucking name of it? Not Swipe, not Spike, but what's the fucking name of that thing? Hold on a second. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me?
Uno.
Can you guys?
Uno, dos, tres.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Oh, so weird.
Can you
I
hear
lost
us?
everybody for like half a minute.
No, it's
Wow.
okay. Good. Casey was mouthing off back there, so
yeah,
I'm glad you didn't hear that part.
Yeah, that happened yesterday to me a lot, where I would hear parts of the conversation, people would be talking, and then other people wouldn't be. You can hear them, and you'd hear one side of the conversation. I had to dive out and come back in several times.
Yeah.
So
I might have to do that, but they have everything froze. Like I have an iPhone 12 Pro, and I would think, and it's not hot or anything, but everybody in the room just stopped. Like everybody. Oh, hello, Kitty. All right. Anyway, it's not a big deal. But
That's nice. We've had Trolls and Hello Kitty today. That's amazing. I think they should be like they should do crossovers, right?
That would be awesome. That would be cool. I have Hello Kitty earphones.
Oh, get out.
Love them. Yeah, I wish I could go to Japan because they have the coolest like little gadgets and giggles over there and stationery. Like, and sent me a ton of them back, and I played with that stuff for like a grown ass adult, being like, "Oh, this is so cool," It's so funny. I love that stuff.
So wait a minute. You're saying if they were cat NFTs that allowed you to have fun? Huh, interesting.
I would be
Sandra, you're cutting out for me. Is that true for everyone else, or is that my phone?
Yeah, Sandra's connection isn't good.
No, she's jigging.
Yeah. Casey, I just sent you a message. If you can check it out.
Okay, well.
That'd be cool. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Hi. So Casey was going to tell us how he really feels.
Oh, yeah. I walked in. I walked in on that.
Casey, I hope you don't mind. I clipped that and I CC'd Shingo. Because everything you described sounds like Ethos, doesn't it? It sounds like you copy and pasted that script from the Ethos page.
You're a dangerous and horrible friend to have. I just want you to know.
Yo, you're the one who introduced me to this shit in the first place.
Well, I think what you can do is do audio without the screen grab. So it doesn't show.
You know what pissed me off yesterday?
Him.
I'm trying to record audio that's playing from my computer. I'm using a Mac, and I have to download something else just to record audio from my screen. It's like, you have all this technology, and you don't let me record audio from my Mac screen without downloading something else.
Yes.
This is weird.
Yeah, it's just a driver that they don't include. Yeah, they don't.
What?
It just.
Is that a security thing?
Interesting.
It's like, because what happened was, I don't know how you guys feel about music, but I find that the instrumentals are so much better than the vocalists these days. It's like, the music is great and the vocalists are shit. But I listen to like rap and R&B and stuff like that, so I think the vocalists have really dropped the ball recently. So with a lot of songs that I like, I'm like, this song would be great if they just removed the vocalist. And so there's this AI online that allows you to actually split the vocal track from the instrumental.
Oh, I've been seeing that.
It's so cool.
I love on my Instagram. That's a lot of the things that I like post, like the acapella, basically.
Yeah.
Not the instrumental part, but I grabbed the.
You can grab both, and then you can like remix them, right? As long as it's the same beats per minute. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not doing. It's someone's posting them, so now I can actually do it myself.
Nice.
Like,
yeah, if you get the acapellas, you can
repost it. What? 3 people.
The AI is called Lao. I always forget. Okay. I'm gonna put it to the top. Split a song into instrumental and vocal tracks. All right, let me post this to the top. All right, so yeah, I just put it there. It's really effective.
Sorry, everyone. Everything went kerflooey on me, and I.
Oh, now you're back. Yeah, no, the voice sounds perfect now. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was saying I'm sorry about that. I just I blew up, and then I came back into the room, and I was already there. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Right? It's like,
it's when you're like a co-host, it makes it different. Mine gets stuck on. I can't get back on mic unless I've been removed from mic. I'll just stay in a loop.
What is going on? I just tried to accept your co-host, and oh, there I am. All right, never mind. Yeah, Melody, I don't know, but it was weird because I came in, I felt like that Spider-Man meme. I'm like, okay, is another one of me going to pop up and we're all going to talk? Because this is strange. One of me's bad enough, Good God. Jesus. All right. Sorry, I'm saying the Lord's name in vain. Ugh, what a day. So, what I'm talking.
What a day.
I was on the phone with the assigned till like 3 a.m. last night.
Wow. How's he doing?
Oh, he's great. He's one of my favorite people in the world now, that guy. He's just so genuine. I don't detect any malice in that guy whatsoever.
Yeah, I feel like if I just kind of randomly showed up crying, vomiting, hair.
He would give you his vet. He would give you, here, sleep in my bed. I'll sleep on the couch kind of guy.
Exactly. Yeah, you give me the shoe off his back. That's awesome. There aren't many people left like that in the world, Why were you on the phone with him so late, though? Is he okay?
Oh, yeah. He was, we were actually just listening to music together. I'm like, yo, you got to listen to this song. You ever heard Sincerity by Mary J. Blige and DMX? What about this
Mm-hmm.
one? And then 3 hours went by.
That's fun to
Cute.
do. Hang out with your friends and listen to music.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. Just because like it's interesting. Like we're not necessarily the same age, but I feel like because of like when we were born, I think one of the things that brings us together is that we were all born before the internet existed.
Mm-hmm.
I see there's a dichotomy between the opinions that people have before that, you know what I mean, that were born with
Mm-hmm.
an iPhone versus
Yep.
after,
Yep.
completely different. And the people who are born with an iPhone, I find that they trust the internet
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
to be the truth.
Yeah.
And it's like and they don't realize it, but everything they say is like, I did this and I researched that. It's like you saw what was made available for you to see.
Exactly.
And because you've seen what was made available for you to see, you now think you know the entire nature of reality. Fascinating.
For real.
When would you want to split the song? Is that when you're trying to learn either the instrumental or the vocal? So you split the song out so that you can focus on it better?
For me, it's just I don't like the vocalist to be like, this song would be better if we removed the singer.
Oh God.
That's why I'm using it.
That's so funny. Imagine a band, with a singer, and you go up to the band, you're like, I love you guys, but not her.
Oh my God.
You know?
Yeah,
I
that's
take her.
basically how I feel about most music at
Oh
this
God.
Yeah.
point.
Can you imagine a singer? He's like, yeah, no offense, but I take you out. Like you're not even
Yeah. It's
hilarious.
funny.
Music would be better if you remove the lyrics.
Much of the time, yeah, yeah.
I
Or you
like
could put in notes.
vocalizations actually. Like Gladiator? Like some of the old scores, like older movies and
Oh
scores of
yeah,
older movies. Yeah.
I got the soundtrack for two movies, Hunt for Red October and
Yeah.
Terminator 2. Those
Yeah.
soundtracks are amazing.
Yep. That sounds about right.
What about Beverly Hills Cop?
Never saw
Oh,
it.
I like that one. Eddie Murphy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
first one has
totally.
a pretty good soundtrack.
That's a fun one.
It has a place in my heart because my field hockey teacher would use the entire album to torture us with. So
The album.
she
Ali
loved.
thought Ali thought about Beverly Hills Ninja instead of Beverly Hills Cop with Chris Farley when you said that.
Oh, really? Well,
Oh
she
yeah.
she must be much younger than me. Yeah.
Ali, you're 40. 40 years old.
Oh, you're a youngster. You're a child. Be quiet. Sit down. I think I would like bleed out half my body to be 40 again. You know,
That's what
I
Madonna
hate getting
does.
old.
Have you seen her?
Oh, is
Have
that
you
what
seen
really?
have you guys seen
I
Madonna?
was just kidding.
Well, there's a lot of I
I've
mean,
seen it.
not in that degree. I mean, you said what is that called? Layman's terms? Layman's terms. You know what I mean? Because that's basically what it is. But it's like
Yeah.
it's a process.
Wow.
It's a plasma process. hmm And it's like
See, I think of
you oxygenate your blood and when you drain it, it's actually what it is. It's like um this started in sports. It's platelet rich plasma. So it's like you get a vial of the blood and then they put it in I always forget the name of the machine. And not a synthesizer, because that's music, but it's the speed.
like a blood blender, right?
Oh, you mean that thing that
Yeah.
spins the vials? Oh, Mel, now I can't hear you.
The
But maybe that's me. I
It's
never know.
No, it's not you. It's I can't hear her correctly either.
Check. Mel, you there? We can't hear you all that well. Try
yeah.
again.
Centrifuge.
Oh,
Centrifuge.
Centrifuge,
Yeah.
there
right.
you go. Yeah. So with the centrifuge, it separates the plasma from the blood, and then the plasma is literally called liquid gold, and that is what's injected into the body to heal. It started in sports medicine. It started with knees. It started with all that stuff like 20 years ago, I think. More than that, something like that. And then like in the last 10 years, it's been picked up by the beauty industry and like other things. And so it's like you can do it for your hair, you do it for your skin. And it's basically like, yeah, you use your
Well, Grandma,
blood, you
you know
use your
that?
platelets. Hmm?
So it could.
Yes, yes,
What?
yes.
What?
Hmm.
Oh, I got to be.
It's your own cells. There was a
I
study. I'm in Target, by the way. That's why my signal's probably bad. There
love
was a
Target.
study. There was a study that did instead of pulling blood, they were using women's uh, moon blood. And it was the women's cycle, and it was instead of
Whoa.
yeah, it was for cells. You know, stem cells.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so they were showing that instead of like, going into the spine or whatever, that you could actually get the stem cells from some of that matter. Stem cells and this
Incredible.
Just another
plasma.
notch in astrology's belt.
Astrology or
No,
astronomy?
astrology, right? Because of the moon and like
Oh no, the moon is what that is your period blood, menstruation blood.
Mike's like speechless.
Yeah, that's
I was
too.
there's a it's funny you're talking about plasma because I was talking to Brad and we were looking at these papers on
Thank
time travel, and there's these people that have a completely different view of physics that is based on plasma and electromagnetism. It's fascinating.
Wow.
Yes, that's how the planets got scarred.
Have you heard about this? Have
Yeah.
you heard about this plasma stuff? Web3? It
Yes.
was blowing my
Yes.
mind the other day.
Yeah.
And
It's
like,
interesting. It's all electrification of the universe. That's the reason
yeah,
why everything's got electricity in it. Hmm.
yeah.
Cool. Cool.
What's it called? MHD? Magnetic. Dude. I gotta find this thing. Hold on. It blew my mind because they were like, "What? I'm I I realized this today that when people say that someone's a terrible person, it gets me more interested, not less. So when
Oh,
like a lot
that's
of these, um, a lot of the physicists at the time were like, what's his name? Alfin? Um,
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Hans Alvin, dude. Here, Twitter, tweet. Magnetohydrodynamics. It's so interesting that you think that there's like these whole areas of science that are like, oh, that's solved. And then when you really look into it, it's like, no, it's not solved at all.
Right.
At all. At all.
It's all theoretical. I mean, how could it not be? You know, it's like we're still here. It's not like we can like travel. We can only go so far as like Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 right now. I mean, I think those are the probes that are the farthest out that we still have.
Well, uh, it's just fascinating to me that science can become a secular religion among people vying for PhDs and Nobel Prizes.
It's scary, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I'm more of a Worlds in Collision Velikovsky girl myself because that one's fun.
What's that? I've never heard of
Velikovsky.
it.
Well,
No, I've never heard of it.
it's a theory that there's planetary collisions, basically, and that's what made the order of the planets in our solar system the way that it is. And he talked to Einstein quite a bit about his theories, and Einstein was a friend of his, and Einstein, I think, liked his daughter, but that's a whole other story. But the theory is very interesting, and if you have extra time, I'd recommend you. It's if you're into
Yeah.
if you like electric universe theory, you'll find it fascinating.
Well, this all kicked off with like Mike McCulloch, and Mike McCulloch was the first guy to say, at least that I heard, that all this dark matter shit is fucking stupid. Right? I'm like, really?
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's
he's like,
kind of
yeah, and here's why. And it kind of brought me down the rabbit hole because I was like, I wonder if anyone else is like trying to shift our paradigms in physics. And there's like a whole world of people that are actually doing experiments. And the basic idea is that mathematicians have been worshiping their chalkboard scratchings for far too long to know the nature of reality because they're not instrument. They, you know what I mean? They're like keyboard warriors, but for physics.
right, and there's far too much of that. People need to actually like try things out.
Yeah, it's like the difference between talking, like you ever talk to someone who actually mined a cryptocurrency? They have a completely different take than 99% of people that you'll talk to.
Well, that's what concerns me. We seem to be becoming more, let's just hang out and chat as opposed to doers. Okay, well, let's try that. That maybe it's a jackass method of doing things. I'm saying that facetiously, but you got to get out there and do it and see what happens sometimes.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's. I gotta find the lecture, but there was a guy. Honestly, it is one of the best YouTube channels I've seen. This guy spent a long time putting together these videos. Hans Alvin. Hans Alvin. Plasma cosmology. Dude, when I started reading this, it's just like, wait a minute.
It sounds sexy. I like it already.
All right, plasma cosmology. I'm down.
Oh yeah. Malaby, give us a sexy voice and say that. She left me. Malaby, are you there?
I think she's
She's probably in checkout.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's why she's at Target.
or she met someone attractive at Target. When they reach for the last toothpaste at the same time, and then their hair touch. That's what happened in my head.
Well, I end up looking at all their little tchotchkes, like the, things that you put in, ceramic cats and random pillows. Like they have a bunch of that extra stuff that some of it's so interesting to me. I just go and I look at it, and an hour and a half later, I'm like, what is happening to me? So they have a bunch of little gewgaws and stuff that you buy and you get home and you're like, well, what on earth happened to me? Why did I buy that? So I kind of avoid that store, but not always. Oh, there we go. Oh, thanks. Oh, I'll check that out for sure.
Oh man, the dude spent so long editing this video. I can tell, like a long time. I'm like, you ever look at something? You ever look at another lawyer's work and be like, wow, that person really works hard.
Oh,
That's
definitely.
how I felt watching the video.
I mean, usually I'm saying, you know what, this is so long, there's no effing way a judge in a state court will read this, but and that could be a whole new thing, judge stories, what judges really say when you hand in a 50-page brief on the Thursday afternoon and the hearing's Friday morning. My judge would be like, fuck this shit. I ain't reading. Are you reading this? I'm not reading it. He's like, if it's a summary judgment motion and I throw it down the steps and it ends up like so heavy, it only makes it like half the way down, I don't read it. I just deny the motion. Denied. I'm like, oh, I don't think you want that getting out to the public, sir.
Well, I think it highlights I really think there's an art to like writing emails and writing text messages. Like,
Yeah.
how, and I'm not saying I do it well. Like you saw that email I sent yesterday. Like it's hard to format an email and include all the right things and make it so it's not like a block of mess.
Right. And I'm getting more, I'm glad you said that, because I'm becoming more aware of when I'm just sending like a wall of text. It's like, who's going to look at that's like, what are you thinking? So,
Yeah. So I put like the, in the end, when I wrote it, I was like, okay, this needs headings, and I need to underline the headings, and I need to be, this is A, and this is B, and this is C. Like, I probably stared at that email for maybe 3 hours, off and on, honestly. Is this clear? Do people know what to do?
yeah.
Should I
Well,
say this? Should I,
yeah, no, I hear you. And Zach's advice for emails, I think was good.
bottom line up front?
Yeah.
Service.
Ptolemy agrees with this. He just meowed right at the same time. So, strongly recommended by my cat for no reason.
Can you explain it? Can you explain what that means, bottom up?
Bottom line up front. So Zach, I was talking to Zach about scripts for an email, right? And he said, when we're trying to get someone's attention or we need to say something to them that they need to read, then in the beginning of the message, they'll say, bottom line up front, this is what needs to happen. And then they will go into all the other things. So it's like that. How radically transparent can you be in 10 to 15 words? Is what I think about. How do I turn this? How do I turn the wrong people off and the right people on? I have in my mind that really great marketing turns the right people off and the right people on.
Yeah, I would think that turning off the people that are not going to be a good fit for your product is sometimes just as important as finding, the right people.
Yeah, because in my mind, businesses fail by the clients. A lot of businesses fail because they end up dealing with clients who are just sucking the life out of their employees and they don't know it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right. So choosing the right clients is like one of the most important things you can do when you're starting out because you have limited resources.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I've been in that position too. And, with my one client with the Stephen King horror novel Divorce,
Mm.
I really debated like telling,
Oh, that's
yeah, but
yo.
he ended
I
up, I
remember.
think 20 cases, 20 good
I
cases.
remember. What was that book? Was that wasn't Rose Matter, was it?
Well, you're not thinking Misery, are you?
What what was the one where the woman is in a shelter in the beginning?
Oh, that might
You
have
know
been.
what I'm talking about?
I think that might have been the one you're saying, but I'm not 100%.
Because she was sh Tabitha King was the wife, right? Yes, Rose
Right.
Matter is about domestic violence, right? Dude, I remember reading that as a kid. I'm like, it was the first time I had read a book from a woman's perspective. Like,
I
I
think
guess
I
as a
read that.
man, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're just following. I guess for me, it was one of the first times I read a book with a female protagonist, let's say.
That you know of.
Yeah, that I know of. Yeah, I mean, it could all be. I mean, it would make sense that Tabitha wrote. I wonder.
That's my theory.
Yeah, I like that theory.
I think when I think that when he got too fucked up, she would take over and do it, then shine up and finish his stuff. But I mean that I have no basis to saying that. It's just an instinct. So
Whoa, I gotta read. You know what? I need to read all of these Stephen King books again because I read them when I was like fucking 14 and 15 years old. I wonder how they would hit now. You know?
I need to do that too because I'm in the same boat.
We should read the long walk together.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's
Can you
perfect.
imagine? We did that. We were just like we just have different people uh read different paragraphs.
Yeah, I would love
That'd
that.
be fun.
Love that idea. I
All
really do.
right.
Not saying that to kiss your ass. I think that's a great idea, and I love that book. Who else was we were talking to? Someone
Dude,
else.
everyone I talk to loves that book. Like fucking Anna Mariah, even Crypto Swarm. I'm like, how does everyone know this book?
The struggle is real. Like, haven't we all felt that way once? I mean, obviously it's not true, but you have this feeling of like you're never gonna make it, and somebody comes along and sacrifices himself for you, and you're like, yeah, I'm sorry you did that. Bye. Oh, I'm sorry you got shot in the head, but I'm now gonna make it. Bye. No, I'm kidding. Um, but yeah, I that's one of my favorites.
Jeez, it's so weird. His mother was also tall but too thin. Her breasts were almost non-existent, token nubs. Her eyes were wandering and unsure, somehow shocked. Her face was an invalid's face. Her iron-colored hair had gone awry under the complication of clips that was supposed to hold it all in place. Her dress hung badly on her body as if she had recently lost a lot of weight. Jeez. Easy, Stephen King. Why don't you tell us how you really feel? This guy had someone in mind. Is that an ant? Who is that, Stephen King?
But it's written like a woman. Like those are things that a woman would notice first.
Oh, shit. Because of like fertility signaling and shit? Or who knows?
Oh my cat. Okay.
You pissed off the cat. I like the idea that your cat knows what's a good idea by its reaction. Like we can gauge the opinion. Like you know what I mean? We can be like, "What do you think about this?" And if the cat knocks over the salt, and be like, "All right, guys, back to the drawing board."
Oh, he really anyway, it's okay. But and he's okay. He's just sometimes I just I'm like, why are you doing this right now? Maybe he's hungry. Anyway, so what were we talking about? Oh, my cats are trash and everything. But I do like but anyway, yeah.
Oh shit! Okay, I have an idea. So what it could be is like, you know how you have different characters in the
Yeah,
book? So you could assign people as the characters.
I would love that idea.
That would be cool. So like somebody could be McVrees and somebody could be Garrity.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. In my head, Crow is Garrity.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that would be so much fun. Do you think we can like do this? I would love to be part of that.
Well, I think we would have to pick like so essentially you have a narrator, right?
Right.
And then you have the main character, and then you have the protagonist and antagonist. It would be interesting because you could really explore the hero villain sidekick mentor with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Just want to shout out Timeless. What's going on? No offense, Timeless, but I prefer Coriander to Time. I hope we can still be friends.
We could for sure still be friends. No, I just like to play on words. I have an all natural business in real life, so I like to put the herbs in
Nice.
there and use a play on words. And so now Timeless is my brand, and getting ready to do some world travel.
Is that spiral nature of planting things? Is that still done?
People are still doing it. I don't necessarily do it. I like to do relationship planting, so plants that
Oh,
help one another, and like
like
one thing
complementary
isn't.
planting.
Yeah, so one
Huh.
thing will fish the nitrogen in the soil. The
Yes.
other one has like good microbiome and everything
Mm-hmm.
like that. So, yeah,
I read a thing about how when lightning hits the soil, it causes nitrogen and other things to be created that feeds
that is
plants.
true.
Blew my mind. What do you mean there's an electrical relationship between nutrients and all right, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like just the electrical nature of the universe is intimidating.
For sure, especially like when we get rain. The rain captures nitrogen and brings it down to the soil. And so there's different ways for these things to come down into soils in different aspects. So that's why we need an ecosystem that has the four seasons and the different things going on, because it actually builds up nutrients
True.
in the soil.
Very true. I put it up there. Lightning as a fertilizer. Farmers love lightning for all of those nitrogen-charged raindrops that fall from the sky as fertilizer for the plants in our gardens.
For a fact.
And so it makes me think about the lightning bolt and the tree of life, and it's like, oh wow. And then we talked about today the electric nature of the universe that not a lot of even physicists are necessarily enthusiastic about. So I put Hans Alphen's work and a link to plasma cosmology playlist I'm working through right now. I wonder if you can create like artificial electricity by just like shocking the soil, like clear, you know.
You can, but it's not going to have the same thing
Not the
because it's
same.
not a natural thing
Right.
happening. Because that you can see the difference, like in the jungles and the rainforest. That is why you see the different hues of green. That is why you get some of these longer lives of plants, because they are working in a place that has a wet and dry season that does have a whole lot of lightning and everything else. So it's building, and then it's building in layers.
So I wonder if you could look up where the places struck with the most lightning. Lake Maracaibo. Where's that? Because now I want to like see if I could just see that in the terrain of this lake.
For sure, that would be an interesting
Northwestern
thing to see.
Venezuela. Oh, Melody, it's in Venezuela. What are the odds? That's fascinating.
And that all down there, Central and South America has extremely fertile soils.
I'm just looking at pictures now. This is gorgeous.
We close on our house in 8 days, and we're starting the world slow travel journey, and we are going to head south of the border to do so. So we're going to be doing Central and South America, and probably hit a few more places we missed in Mexico. So I'm super excited about that.
Mexico, I had the best sushi of my life. It's weird.
My kids said the same
Oh my
exact
God,
thing.
it
I
was
don't
so
eat sushi,
good.
but they were eating it like every single day. This is so good, Mom. I was like, I
It
don't
was
eat
something.
it, but I'm glad you like it.
It was something about the fact that they just added a spritz of lime onto it. You know, they put lime on everything. Yeah, something with the lime in the raw fish.
Lime is awesome.
Right? Lime is a big unsung hero. Lime, red onions. What do you think the most underrated ingredients are? Coriander for me is one of them. I'm an anti-parsley personally. If there's parsley in it, I'd rather have coriander.
Right. Yeah. And parsley can just go away. Yeah.
Yeah, parsley needs to take a step back, you know?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, taboulih's... Maybe if they made a tabbouleh with coriander, that'd be interesting.
That sounds good.
Now I want a salad.
I don't eat a lot of sushi. I should try some different types.
I'm not a fan of sushi myself.
Where'd you get for the small guys? Allie bought little baby tortillas. Where'd you find these? The baby tortillas. Look, baby tortilla. Where'd you find it?
We have had it for my birthday.
Really? Oh! Wow. It looks like you could like make cool wontons out of them.
I've been eating them.
Yeah? Man, mini tortillas, guys. They're so cute. I would like to slap somebody with them. Hold on one sec. Let me try this. How'd that feel? Was that harder? Should I not done it as hard?
No, that is...
That's not bad? This is how it sounds. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was hard. Sorry.
That was a good one.
That's good.
You mean so
My face.
a mini tortilla can do that much damage?
It's all in the wrist.
Wow.
Yeah.
The flick of the wrist.
Just look at her wrist.
I play an instrument, so I have the oily wrists.
Yeah, that was surprising that you could hit me that hard in the face with a tiny, tiny tortilla.
I've been
It's like-
masturbating for a long time.
Oh! Well, that makes a lot of sense.
I could do this ever since the age of 12 and a half.
Oh my god. Don't lie.
11 and a half.
I don't know. But Allie, you benefit from the strong hands in the long run, so.
Oh, I definitely benefit from it. He's very good.
Hands as a service.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
He's
if
very
only, if only he could have reached things with his tongue when he was 12 and a half. Imagine the fun now.
A completely different career.
Oh my god.
Right? Man, why are you wasting your tongue on speech? Do you know how much more useful it could be? You're like, have you ever considered switching careers?
Oh.
You know?
Oh man.
I wonder if I could, I'm sure a lot of women would, if it was legal.
Kind of like us as a service?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right? Wouldn't they? You know, where are you going for a massage? Fuck the massage. You know? You get a registered tongue massage therapist.
Back in the day,
yeah,
doctors used to relieve women of hysteria.
Fuck off.
I wish that was still a service. You could just go into your doctor's office and be like, I've got hysteria. Can you please give me an orgasm?
Wow.
I've read about that. That was like a thing.
Wow.
That's where the first vibrator came from. Hello.
Yeah, really?
And cranked, baby.
Really?
Yeah.
It's medieval. I like it. I like the servant as being the chief crank. And they all have shifts.
Oh my god!
You know? And you keep on having to find new crankers because their hands get tired. Right? Man, that's like the 5th crank this week.
Oh man.
That's so funny. We covered a lot of ground in the past 5 minutes.
Yeah, true.
I'm always fascinated by how much ground we can actually cause because we have a touch of autism. So we're constantly bisociating with other domains and we can't help it.
Mostly you. You switch topics so quickly.
Do I?
You do. Oh, is it mostly? I don't know. Maybe other people too, but I noticed that with you.
I find this entire group is a lot of people get frustrated when we don't talk about something for 45 minutes with the table of contents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
They want to be in a space with one topic and one topic only that they can dominate.
Not only that, they assume that if someone's not staying on topic, they're stupid.
Oh.
They make that leap. Yeah. They make that leap.
Shit.
Yeah. Be like, you guys aren't organized. You guys aren't focused. No, we're done with that topic now.
Yeah, we're bored. We're moving on.
I'm
smarter than you. Sorry.
I don't mind. And I don't think anybody's ever complained, have they? I mean, I forget a lot too, but
not in the space.
No, they do.
Oh, they say it in the space?
Yeah, a lot of the people who even the people that we've had to kick out.
Oh, the people that we kick out.
Yeah, they'll be like, you guys need to be more organized. You know,
oh, the guy who. Oh, yeah, you got messages.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
What were the messages?
Let me take over the space to organize you. Go fuck yourself.
Was that Dr. 101?
Yeah, exactly. Right? Because he was constantly saying, this needs to be more organized. I'm like, I don't think so.
No, because he was in a space yesterday.
What happened?
He was in a space, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna go in there because why go where I shouldn't be around, where I shouldn't be around someone, but it wasn't his space, so I was like, fuck it. So I go in, and then it's a Bitcoin place, and then the host is like, I recognize you, Syndicate. You went and got a new profile. Like the guy has already, 3 or 4 profiles before. And then when he started following me, he's like, oh, he opened a Syndicate place. And I'm like, go see who gets there. And then he opened a stupid profile. And so anyway, so now he's using it everywhere. And then he was getting made fun of so hard. It was so crazy. Not he was trolling them, you know, because that's what he does. He's a fucking troll, and he doesn't give a fuck. He'll run the conversation how he wants it. I mean, it's a gift. You know, it is a gift. The guy can like wrap it around, you know, 4 ways,
Yeah.
and you're like, where did we go? What did I
If you're
fucking
not,
say?
yeah, if you're not, if you don't have the language, um, you, I can see a lot of people being easily tricked. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But then once you see through it, it's just like, okay, we get it. Yeah, we get it. You're not the first one. You're not going to be the last,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
But
It was just
I,
so funny last night.
He
They were
he
going
he attempts
on.
to be he attempts to be an intellectual script kiddie in my book. So
Well,
yeah,
he had said explain that script kitty. ¿Qué es eso?
that's a term in hack. You know, like hackers. You know, the newbies to hacking. You have a script and you follow a script. So it's kind of like
Oh,
he has just a set
uh
of
huh,
things that he can intellectually
uh huh.
pursue in his arguments, and you'll know that he circles backs a lot of times in his discussion because I've talked with him just to talk with him, and it's like he circles all the time. He always circles back. You know,
Yeah,
he's constantly moving, but he's circling back. So
yeah, yeah. It's an interesting thing.
well, I remember talking to him and we're talking about coding. And he was like, yeah, I'm a coder. Yeah, I'm a scrum master. I'm like,
Uh
well, I'm a
huh.
recruiter and I don't believe any of that shit. Right? And I can tell that you're lying. And it was one of those things where it's like, I don't mind someone, I don't mind it as much. But then when it's like, you just, you have, I get upset when people get in the way of other people's education, I guess, it
Yeah,
was what really pisses me off.
yeah. Interruption.
Yeah, you don't have the right to disrupt somebody else learning something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I
To me,
really
that's
don't.
like, mhm. Go
And
ahead.
and like I said, he actually had a meaningful conversation one time, and then the rest of it, he was just off the rails in other spaces. Oh, thanks a
My
lot.
my
I mean,
friend has a joke about that. How women love who he is on the first date, and will try for 2 years to rediscover and refine that guy on the first date.
yeah, dude, that's fucking real. It's like the glimmer of hope is there.
We're like, who the fuck is this guy? And he's like, yo, these ladies will look for that guy for
Yeah,
years. It's not even there.
totally.
Well, that's why one has to be realistic. Like you know, if someone's like glowing and oh, this person's perfect, it's like, oh no, you have no idea. Like my sister tells me, oh, my husband and I never fight. I'm like, you just don't know what you don't.
Just holding that shit in.
Yeah, I mean, relationships shouldn't be all fight, you know. And it bothers me when I see relationships like that. Like they seem to me to be nothing but arguments. But you know, usually that's symptomatic of
Mm.
you know, bigger unresolved things, like being trustworthy and honest about who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, so
Recruiting has led me to almost to be on guard for everyone who's lying to me, because if I let a liar through the process, then it looks bad on me, because I'm supposed to be the lie detector for the manager. You know what I mean?
right, yeah.
So if they get past me and they're a liar, it's like I might lose my job.
Oh yeah, and your reputation is everything. Your
Oh, it's everything. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's gone to that point where it's like, look, I do not have the ability to predict the future performance of human beings. And therefore, the only thing I would suggest is that if we feel the same way, let's see what happens after the first 2 weeks. You may know after the first 24 hours. But let's say we take a month. And maybe we give the person double what they were originally paid after the first month. Maybe we pay them the exact same. Maybe we decide that we're water and oil and don't mix. Right? But I
Yeah.
wish I had the ability to predict the future. And it's almost like a part of me realized that like I wanted to be able to say as a recruiter then I know if someone is good or not. I just don't have it. Like, I don't have that crystal ball.
You don't
So
have it, you feel?
I don't, because I cannot say with any certainty how someone will act in the future. The only thing I can say is I believe that this person is worth trying out on a wage subscription basis. Right? It's almost like employees are like the subscription services of employers. We're like, I'm going to subscribe to you, Mel, and I'd like to have a $10,000 a month subscription. And for that subscription, I'd like you to produce this. Never thought about it like that before. Employees are a subscription for employers.
That does work, though.
Fantastic.
I like the sound of that. I mean, it's I think that's what gig work is in a way.
Yeah. And then you can be like, instead of like firing someone, you could just be like, unsubscribe.
Well, that's the nicest thing of all. No one can be offended with that. It's like, hey, it's not me, it's you. Unsubscribe.
Honestly, like, I think I'd be interested in doing that. Because what is happening now is that I'm constantly being asked to reimagine and reinterpret what people have created. And they call that marketing, they call that PR, they call that account executives, you know what I mean? It's all the same thing. You want me to write something? You want me to create content? It could be threads. At the end of the day, what is selling? You have a Discord and a fucking Twitter account at this point? Right? And a bunch of email addresses.
Yeah,
so
we need to do that and raise $1 million.
I like the idea of creating a system whereby people can subscribe. I guess because I'm constantly doing this thing. We'd be like, hey, Mike, we have this thing. All right, what's the title? Okay, what's the subtitle? Okay, if you were going to write the about, what would the about be? And because I worked for a lawyer, like in high school, I got really fast at typing really quickly, like taking dictation, and it really helps me out. Because like someone will talk to me and then be like, okay, I got it. Check your WhatsApp, and the whole thing will be there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's a great skill.
Yeah.
Shorthand is also a great skill. Yeah.
There was a shorthand course. That's how old I am. They had shorthand courses at school where they're like, this is how you take legal dictation. And it was like all of these hieroglyphs for legal clerks.
Yeah, the guy who wrote Crime and Punishment, his wife did shorthand, and that's how they met. She was editing and dictating, like taking down dictation from him.
Speaking of that, you guys ever read any of the Rainmaker type books by John Grisham? I found some of those entertaining.
See, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't read that stuff because it makes me angry.
Yeah, it's like reading about work. Yeah, I hear it.
I mean, it's not the work issue. It's just the fact that then people read it and then they don't remember quite what they read, and then they would come to my office and get angry at me. But John Grisham's a lawyer, and he wrote in his book that. Then I'm like, that's.
Well, maybe you should bring the novel into the court with you.
I've had people. Yeah, I've had people bring their novels into my office and ask me, like, well, this book says that, my child custody arrangement should go this way, not the way you're saying. And I'm like, why don't you observe that that's fiction, like fiction? And they get mad at me. They're genuinely upset. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? You're spending your money showing me a John Grisham novel, and that's what you think is going to happen. And how dare I be wrong about my advice to you?
One of the other things I did for the lawyer is keep track of his, like, he would always have that timer on his desk. Right? Yeah. I mean, like, keep talking, motherfucker. Keep talking. How long is that story? Tell me the backstory of the backstory. Keep it going. And then at the end of the month, the billing would be like, all right, let's look at the list. Fuck, that's a lot of hours. What'd you talk to that guy about? He's like, I can't remember.
Nothing, usually. Like, but what I would do, since I was doing, well, I shouldn't even say this in a space, but hypothetically, what I would do if it were me is if you have medical malpractice defense insurers backing you up for your work, and usually, you get done a little earlier than what it really should take, because you're so efficient. If you're doing like a low income case for family law that involves children and is very important, you could just kind of like maybe play with the time a little bit, maybe, because family law clients often need a little bit of extra time to process what's happening to them and what's going on. And, you can kind of like make that jive. But I would do that hypothetically, not in reality, because that would be wrong. So wrong.
I think it's crazy that people will bring that novel into you. If you're a fucking reader, you know that that's goddamn fiction. Like, what are y'all doing? Stay out the books if you can't discern
Well,
between reality and fiction.
It's
I think it goes
frustrating.
back to like, how they say like believe none of what you hear and half of what you see or something like that. It's like that applies to reading too.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But so you can imagine what it's like, I mean, you hear people, talking about these things that don't have any basis in reality. And there's really not much you can do except kind of gently suggest that they, check, do a reality check, I don't want to, I never really got angry or yelled at my family law clients because they're going through the worst days of their life,
Yeah,
so.
they're already getting enough yelled at. Yeah.
Right. So, and normally if I could, I would take, the worst. I would get a lot of referrals. Some of them are great. Some of them were just referrals. People had the money, but no one wanted to touch it because there was just severe stuff involved. But, I try to be, I've gone through some hard times, and, from the philosophical standpoint, when people are acting out and doing illogical things like this fiction book says it should be like this. I try to remember that I too sound completely batshit crazy sometimes, and I kind of make the allowance and gently try to redirect them and say maybe here's some other ideas, and I might know a little bit more because I function in an actual court of law with judges that are actually physically real, so in case of this woman, she was having child custody issues over her three sons. She was very upset about the possibility of having to expand her time to give the husband more time, because in New Jersey, as your children get older, they are entitled to spend more time with the parent who is not the primary custodial parent. And so I was trying to explain to her that even though a fictional book told her this should never happen, that in my state of New Jersey, it actually um, a shared custody arrangement can expand in favor of the father over time. She did not like hearing that. But anyway, people get very stressed out and upset when they're dealing with things, and they can't make things make sense. And so I kind of see it when I'm doing legal work. I see it like, and that's carried over, I hope, in everything else. I try to give people time to calm down and try to gently say, hey, why don't we think about it a little differently? And and I try. My problem is I can sound very condescending and patronizing, and like I'm talking down to people. So over the years, I've tried to modify how I sound and how I look, because on top of that, I have I've told you before, I have resting bitch face, and knowing it's hard to tell what I'm thinking from both my voice and how my face looks. So um, teaching English as a second language was a huge help in making my face more mobile, like, because I'm acting out things on the screen to teach kids English. And so that was a huge help. But, you just have, in my opinion, even if a person is illogical, that's not necessarily a cause to treat them as bad people. They're just upset usually.
That is true. And not everything is cookie cutter, especially in family law. And like you said, it is a lot of people's worst nightmare and then the worst chapter of their life. But
Oh,
knowing that, but also being able to self-reflect is a huge thing for you too. That's saying sometimes that you can come across that way. I haven't heard it, but you in your real life job and everything. So that's a good thing that you are able to reflect on yourself also.
Well, my sister is completely different than me on every aspect, and we don't have a close relationship like most people do with their brothers and sisters, because we're so different. And she's kind of oblivious, but even she has just flat out told me, you have to do something about that. And when she did that, I was like, okay, well, then there's clearly a problem here, because, you know, she would usually miss all the fine nuances around her. There could be a tornado and she'd be like, oh, it's such a nice day for a walk. But even she was kind of like, hey, maybe you ought to dial it down a little. So yeah, it's tough to learn from that. Like, it's tough because, when anyone has an ego, right? And no one likes to hear something about themselves that they either deep down believe is true, so it hurts even more, or you just never thought about it that way before. But I think as I get a little older, I become a little more humble. Maybe that's it.
I've been humbled so low so many times.
How are you doing, Casey?
Good. Good, I'm back. Just scrambling, keeping everything together. Woo. Man, I wonder if at the end of the day they're gonna announce the auction winner, or if they're gonna keep that until the courts validate the auction winner on the 29th.
Well, maybe if you call the auction house at the end of the day, maybe someone will slip and tell you.
That is a crafty thought.
Like, say you're from one of the law offices
Mm-hmm.
and ask for the result. You can probably get away with that.
That's a crafty thought. That's some real world craft right there.
Well, they may just flat out be used to that and say, sorry, we can't discuss results, but you
Yeah.
never know. Make it
You
someone
never know.
cool. Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder I don't even know who the auction house is.
Probably if you go into the bankruptcy court and look, there'll be a document that says who it is.
On the docket.
Wait, is that up? Let me take a hold on a second. It might be up here.
I don't remember seeing it in there. I would imagine I'd have to go to Strato and then look up the docket.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to do that.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Just novel, blunt force concept there. I like it. I'm a fan.
So, did you click on the link to the PDFs in that dude's video? It links to all the filings.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Well, you didn't click on the video. You didn't click on the link yet. Come on.
I just watched the video until it surfed over Wells Fargo and like, yeah, it's in there.
When you click on that link, you're going to get a list of all of the documents, black helicopters.
And it should be in one of them. The auctioneer might be even on the list of who's involved in the case.
Maybe third parties is what I would imagine.
No, they wouldn't be a third party. It would be probably a separate entry. But if you don't find it there would have to be a notice of sale somewhere in those documents.
That would list the auction house.
Of the auction.
Right.
Yeah, right. Because people.
What's up, E?
Yo, good afternoon, y'all. How y'all doing?
Good, man. What's a good word for you? How's your morning?
Man, I don't even got a word. You caught me on the spot today. But
were you watching the charts on Bitcoin at all or no?
No, what's up? What's going on with them?
A pump and dump. Another pump and dump.
Oh, I think I just seen
to 20.
I just seen a big ass red candle. Was that Bitcoin?
Yep.
Oof.
That'd be the mothership.
Bull trap.
Mm-hmm. Another little dead cat. The guillotine rises once again.
There's gonna be a lot of swing trading going on. Like it's gonna be a lot of people winning, a lot of people losing, and a lot of people leaving, and a lot of people coming back.
I'm wondering about the short sellers, man. The short sell crowd has been quiet.
Oh, where's Tag Z?
Because they're getting wrecked.
Tag Z, Timeless. That's short sell city.
I wonder,
Oh yeah,
man.
let's tag Zay.
I wonder about the option traders and the short sellers in volatility like this. Like, there's got to be some people out there just crying from excitement and other people crying from devastation. It's such a mixed bag.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough times, man. And right now with the economy, with inflation, I mean, there's a lot of variables. Like, there isn't no telling, and people are going against the cardinal rule. Like, people are investing more than they can lose. Like, it's just facts. Like, what's going on right now, and people are tying all their assets up into the crypto market, and they're skipping paying bills and feeding themselves. And I'm like, oh, it's a recipe for disaster. Like, and it's happening. And they only got themselves to blame because, like, yeah, we can blame the hedge funds, we could blame a numerous amount of things, but we also got to hold ourselves accountable because investing comes with its considerable risk at the end of the
Dude,
day.
you know what, man? I struggle with empathy on that. I do. I have empathy for people who've never been exposed to investing and got into crypto because that's me.
Okay, so the newbies, all right, like, we can have like there's like a point of a percentage of empathy for them in my heart, but like people who've been here, like, experience that shit, like,
Yeah,
nah, bro,
yeah.
they can get a monopoly boot in their ass. They deserve that shit.
That's why I always I like the push on financial literacy and determining like your disposable income and your investable power and not exceeding your investable power.
Yeah, you know what the word is today?
Hmm.
The word is today is proud. Like, I'm fucking proud of Timeless. She hasn't like talked about what she's getting ready to do, the big step in her life, and then also coming up here vibing with y'all. Like, that's what's up.
What's up, Timeless?
What's going on, y'all? I said a little
Flowers.
bit of it. But yeah, no, just the world travel, getting ready to slow travel the world. We're young. We were able to retire early, due to my husband and I both being in the military, and results of that is being disabled veterans, but not in a way that we can't enjoy the world. And my first child, she's already out the door and in the UK looking for school right now. We have the two after her. The other one will be turning 18 in January. The one the following April will be 18. And then my bonus kids from my husband just made me a grandparent. So we're living life. We're selling, the house is actually closing. So we're getting ready to
Yay!
hit this and go and live this world in a way that the world is your oyster. So being able to capitalize on that and being a cancer survivor is a huge thing for me.
Look at you.
Yeah.
That is awesome, man. Not only that, you've launched your own effective community. Dude, that is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you
I'm
so
telling
much. It
you,
means a
it's
whole lot.
major. That shit is like the dream, but it's like Timeless always reiterates, it's hard work. That shit didn't come easy. And it's something, it just is motivation, right? Because we all can do that. Like, we all working towards that. Like, it's not a far fetched dream. Like, somebody we know and talking to is doing that shit.
What's up, Gookie? I see you with your hand up, being all polite.
I was told to look into the ETH merger. I don't have any crypto, but someone tried to tell me I should probably get into crypto right now. What do
Oh,
you guys
wait,
think
wait,
about that?
wait until ETH hits $500, then get in. Not financial
Okay,
advice. It's about to tank
I
super
figured
crazy
as
after this
much.
merge.
I
Gookie, do
figured
you
as
have
much.
your on ramp set up? Do you know how to get your cash
I don't
into
even know what that
crypto?
is. I
Okay,
have uh, Uphold and
okay,
Coinbase.
okay, okay. Are you comfortable using it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do you know how to transfer your USD fiat to those platforms and
Mhm.
swap them?
Mhm.
Okay, okay. My
Yo,
first, for what it's
crack.
worth, I recommend looking into a
Patience.
cold wallet
Yeah.
storage, and an incredibly small DCA schedule.
Mhm.
First, you got to
So
explain what DCA is.
dollar cost average, right?
Oh,
Yep.
okay, okay. Oh,
Small
so you
small
ain't here to
ends.
newbie. You know his shit.
Smallins.
Yeah.
Go small. Go small.
When it comes to the cold wallet, any recommendations as far as
Ledger's the most popular by far, but there's a field of products out there for cold storage.
so just like a hard wallet, hard cold storage wallet?
Cold storage, yeah. So what you're doing is in like MetaMask, your hot wallet is always effectively open and potentially a risk. And cold storage, you're locking the access so that the assets are on chain. They're staying
But
on chain
not
and not in
accessible.
an exchange. And they're not accessible unless you access them.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, man. Anytime.
I got a bold to pick with a track funded Cedra at Bellaby. I feel really disrespected that you never gave me your MetaMask wallet.
I'm
Oh
trying.
shit!
I'm sorry. I'm an asshole.
Hey, Ali.
No, y'all total asshole. Not just
Yeah.
an asshole.
I'm interested. No, and I said to myself, like, my life is like a little bit of a mess right now. And I keep thinking about, okay, I got to go get my MetaMask and talk to you. But I don't want to be like, can I have my, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
the Yobi,
What
listen, you said
address
you're,
do you need? Like, is it
so the
Ethereum
MetaMask,
address? How's it
so
work?
the MetaMask wallet is universal. So whatever chain is compatible with MetaMask, that one wallet, you can send it anywhere. And as long as you bridge the blockchain to the MetaMask wallet, you'll see the asset pop up as long as you change the network on the top of it. So you just send me your MetaMask.
I would love to do a Zoom tutorial with you to kind of like, because
Let's do it.
when it comes to this stuff, you don't get a second chance unless you do a small amount. But I would love to really dig into the mechanics of this initial work with MetaMask and really test it out with like microtransactions if possible.
Hey, I gotta bounce. I'm sorry, E. I'm sorry to interrupt. I gotta bounce out. But for what it's worth, I sent you my MetaMask address.
Oh, I got you. No, I got you.
Yeah, this fucking guy trying to rug us, you asshole.
Look,
You trying to sweep the floor?
to,
You piece of shit.
Now I'm gonna rug myself.
My goal is to turn all you anti Web3 people into Web3 people.
Web3 is horrible. Send me all your NFTs.
I will.
I'll see you guys later.
But what we can bet, Casey, have a good day, bro.
Have a good day.
What we could do is attract, like, we not only can go over like a tutorial, like I can go over reading contracts with you, explain different functions. Like we can go over the whole shebang if you want.
Let's do it.
That would be very helpful for someone like myself, because I what Mike just said came out as NFT, blockchain. Anyway, but it's going to be very valuable to learn. So that would be very helpful to someone like myself.
Oh, I got you. Can we get Timeless as a co-host? Thank you. What's up, Jerry?
Yo. I just wanted to pitch in. So the MetaMask wallet is called an EVM wallet. There are, I believe, 25 plus blockchains that are EVM compatible. There are some that are not. Those are like Hedera, which you don't know about yet, but you will in the near future. Solana, I believe, is Solana MetaMask compatible?
No, Solana's built on Rust and some other coding language. Yeah, it's not.
Instead
it has
of Solidity.
It's Phantom Wallet.
Okay. So I just wanted to check in and say, hey, start with the Chainlist website. You download your MetaMask from the MetaMask website. Then go to Chainlist. You correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's chainlist.org. But
yeah, you're 100% right. You're on the money.
There you go. And find Avalanche in that list, and it's like a matter of clicks. Instead of copy, pasting, and modifying things inside your MetaMask wallet, you can literally like click, and have the blockchain and its information in your MetaMask wallet. So then someone sends you a thing, and you can go to an exchange or go to the Snowtrace or the Scan website for whatever blockchain it is and see your assets.
Yeah, and like what I was telling them was, like your MetaMask wallet, right? Like you send it to someone, right? And let's say they send you Binance, for instance, or they send you a Harmony asset, or they send you an Avalanche asset. Well, you can send that same address, and the way you see it is by just integrating that network into your MetaMask, doing it by chainless. So yeah, we'll go over all that in the video. And track funding it's pretty simple and easy. You're gonna be like, what the fuck? But E Money, E Rich, E Smack a bitch. What's up?
Hey, I'm not going to comment on that last part, although I do have some thoughts. We can catch up on that later on the way that we did the intro. Not a judgment, just a fact.
You're very busy right now, I guess.
Yeah, yes. I was just going to say dispatchjustice.eth.eth if anybody's wanting to send things places.
What are you working on right now, Jerry?
Who, Jerry? Jerry's working on some art.
Can y'all hear me?
Oh
Sandra,
yeah. Oh,
could
Sandra,
you hear
can you
Elizabeth?
hear E Rich?
I can hear you.
I
I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to say send things there.
I think Twitter is acting kind of strange today.
Because
Sandra,
I don't
got
think you can hear
stuck,
Elizabeth.
and then I came back into the room, and
she
there was
probably
two of me.
can't.
Yeah, it's either
she-
Sandra has to leave or E
Hold on,
Rich.
It's
Just
me.
do real quick and come back.
I think it's Sandra, but
Let
I
me
can
try
understand
this.
why she doesn't know this. But I spend some time in some other spaces. If Sandra closes out and comes back, she'll be able to hear me. But I'm the one that's causing the problem because I think they think I'm a bot.
Oh,
I don't know if that's true.
Maybe because it's E-rich, like electronic rich.
So yeah, so that's a problem with having initials that like ER emergency room. Yeah. So I picked this before I started spending time with people that only thought in different types of money numbers. So and by picked it, I mean I was like 7 or 8 whenever all the Elizabeths got together. Again, damn it, I got distracted. All right, I just wanting to come up here and say dispatchjustice.eth. Dispatch spelled the traditional way, justice spelled the traditional way. No S's, no spaces, .eth. If you're sending things places.
What is that only for Ethereum?
It is Ethereum. What I'm saying that's my wallet address if we are sending things places.
Oh, okay.
It was a CTA for things getting sent places.
Yeah, I'm sending out an Avalanche asset, so send me your MetaMask.
I think that is my MetaMask.
See, this is why we need the tutorial.
Damn it. Okay, you're right. I don't have time to do this. It's my ENS.
Is that your ENS? Yeah, that's
sorry.
Okay, I got you.
Am I doing it wrong? And I'll come back for the tutorial later if I am doing it wrong.
You're not doing it wrong at all. It's just gonna be like extra work for me, but that's fine. Can you DM that to me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. But that said, I think a good discussion on how to get scammed on these places would start with how not to get scammed, and you can do that by having someone actually treat you or tell you how this works so that you don't try to in the middle of the night do it yourself and then get fucked. Wrecked. It's daytime. Thanks, E. I'll DM you.
Thank you. So Jerry, what are you up to over there, Jerry? Are you cooking something?
Me? No, I'm on the way to one of my properties. I'm gonna do some keeping and shit. We're selling it. So if anybody wants to move to Noblesville, Indiana, I got you. Great house. AAA fucking or 5A school system. No school shootings in the last year.
Wow, what a key performance indicator for a school, right? And be like, what are your test scores like? And before we address that, how many shootings have you had in the past week? Oh,
yeah,
fuck, that's really good.
That was Jerry's sales pitch right there. It's sold already, Jerry.
It's a good pitch, dude. You know.
I mean, yeah, I've got 6 school-age kids, and last year there was a school shooting every week.
You're kidding me.
Every week there was a school shooting in the United States. Every week. So when I say like no school shooting in the last year, I'm only being half facetious. Because I've talked to parents who are literally doing lottery math Like, you know how people go up to the lottery counter, right,
Yep.
at a gas station?
Yep.
They're like,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they ask, like, which one of these hit last? And then, you know, the gas station employee will just like point to one. They'll be like, all right, I don't want that one. I want one of these others. Because I've literally spoken to people who are like, well, if there was a school shooting there in the last 2 years, there's a low probability there's going to be another school shooting here.
Oh,
So
you're
people are literally
kidding
doing
me.
lottery type math because the threat of
It makes sense.
your kids getting shot is so high.
I
I'm
remember they
a
did the same
generally
thing with.
anti-arms dude who owns weapons because I live within half a mile of my school, and it ain't going to be a cop if I hear gunfire at the school that's going to get my kids out of that school. It's going to be me. The fact that I had to spend money on that, spend time on that, and like look into what kind of uh, protection I need. The fact that I have to go build relationships with police officers so they know my face. So if shit breaks off, they know I'm not the gunman. I'm the dude trying to get into my school and get the kids, and they're going to have to kill me or get killed doing it to stop me. That's a reality that more and more parents are starting to come to grips with and starting to take action on. And it's a very bad indicator of societal progress.
That is a big reason why I put my kids in K-12, so they could be at home with me, and now they'll be able to travel the world because of it. But that wasn't the first intentions. But I did want to come in, and I just didn't want to leave. There's an AMA I have to go to, and then I have to co-host this veterans and coping skills here in a little bit. So I really enjoyed the conversation. I'm not leaving because I'm bored. I'm leaving because I have some other engagements I have to do. But I really like the conversation that we've all had in here, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
Yo,
Which AMA?
Timeless, before you
Timeless.
slip up, hit me with that. The veterans and coping skills thing. Slide that, like tweet it to me or slide it in my DM, whatever. I want to get to that shit.
For sure, Jerry. I will do that right now. I'm doing Geeker's AMA, or going to his AMA about what they're trying to do right now. And then after that is the veteran space.
Okay, I'm a chilling here with my non-web 3 peoples, but I'm gonna definitely pop in a few.
All right, you guys have a phenomenal day. I've really enjoyed the conversation in here with y'all today.
You too, Timeless.
Take care.
Good to hear your voice as always.
The VGX auction has a new contender. Who's the new contender?
Well, it's being contested right now. It was KC who first let me know that Wells Fargo was potentially interested in, Voyager Digital. You're familiar with Voyager platform and their current Chapter 11 status?
I'm not, but you can get me familiar.
Sure. So Voyager platform was one of the most popular. Voyager platform was acting pretty much as the Binance of the United States. And because they lent their money out to people who went bankrupt, like through Arrows Capital, they went from being one of the most highly touted crypto, custody exchanges on the planet to Chapter 11. And so now, call them vultures, call them opportunists, call them saviors, call them messiahs. There's a lot of people who are saying, hey, you see all those customers you have? Can we buy them? And can we run Voyager Digital since you guys don't know how to run it? So there's a lot of organizations like Sam Bankman's FTX and a bunch of other organizations who are trying to bid on the Chapter 11 assets that Voyager has right now. And so I noticed recently that Wells Fargo had asked to see some of the documents. So that those documents are at the top. And the other piece is that right now, I'm literally in a discussion. If you look at here, hold on one sec. Let me post this to the top. You can see someone's kind of fact checking me in real time, which is great. because they're saying, no, the only reason that Wells Fargo is looking into this is because they're a creditor. Right? So, well, yeah, today there's a lot of people who lost or stand to lose millions of dollars because their money is tied up in Chapter 11 with Voyager, who are eagerly awaiting who's going to win the auction to take over Voyager Digital Holdings Incorporated. That's happening today, or is supposedly going to be decided today. That's remains to be seen, but a lot of people are on pins and needles right now. A lot of people had a lot of money invested in Voyager because they thought Voyager was FDIC insured, and it turns out that that's not the case, even though it was allegedly marketed as such.
I like how you just took that pause.
You know, I took a look at their advertising after I heard of that, because I was thinking to myself, there's no way anyone would be regarded enough.
So, yeah.
And I was shocked.
Shocking, isn't it?
What? You know, I wonder if there's a criminal liability issue there. There may be.
Well, there are a lot of, like, for example, there is not a small contingent of former military personnel that had hundreds of thousands of dollars in crypto and USDC and Ethereum, everything, that woke up one day and saw their customer accounts frozen.
Yeah, someone needs to go over and, like, smack Voyager or whoever's responsible for that, you know, their stupidity. And I mean, someone needs to, they need to get their fucking money, you know? That's awful.
Well,
I didn't know that we had military people that.
Oh, yep. Timeless.
Same thing was happening with Three Arrows Capital and with
Really?
Celsius. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. 3 Arrows. Yeah.
I got screwed, like royally screwed with the Celsius thing. So, yeah, I've been watching all of them very closely because this is a really bad situation for a lot of people.
But imagine the amount of people that went in because they saw FDIC seal of approval.
Yes.
And that's dangerous, dude.
Yes, and then the FDIC board came after them and said, you need to revamp this. It needs to be gone. The only thing that's FDIC certified is what is in the actual bank account from the actual company. And yeah, the FDIC board came after them hard. I'm waiting to see the fallout that's going to happen with that, because those are claims that cannot be taken lightly. And just being able to throw terms around like that, they won't be, I don't think that they'll be able to slide with that, especially since the fallout is that they were insolvent and froze everything on everybody with no warning.
Yeah, it sounds like criminal fraud to me, but yeah.
Exactly.
Now, I wonder if that entity, based on, well, they wouldn't, but I wonder, it would be nice if they would still come through and cover everybody anyway, up to, you know, the limit. Since, I mean, it's not every day that someone does something so incredibly outrageous, but I guess you can't do that. It would be nice to see, you know, the FDIC come through for those people anyway, because of the extenuating circumstances.
I don't think that they will, though, and I think that that's why they made that public statement and then contacted every bank and entity saying, if you are doing business with crypto entities, you need to stay on top of them about their claims about being FDIC, or you will lose that coverage and the ability to say that. So I think that there's fallout from that in the traditional banking world, because when that happened, they started putting out all types of memos and starting to meet with all these different banks that are associated with any type of crypto project like that.
Yeah, I'm not, there's no way that, well, I mean, maybe. I'm just thinking that if I'm like a company, and a false representation is being made about me, or someone selling a knockoff of me, or representing that they're the same, you know, they have the same product benefits, it would be nice to see the FDIC, or, you know, whatever entity covers that was misrepresented, to would say, okay, we never do this, but just this one time, we're going to cover this because of this other. But I guess that would just encourage even more terrible shit conduct. But
Well, keep in mind, like when things went to 70, people were thinking, "Oh fuck, we're almost at 100. This is our chance, right?"
yeah,
And so people started really leveraging their money. And then as the interest rates rose, people started going out of business one after another after another. Every basis point rising means entire classes of businesses have to shutter because their math no longer makes sense.
right. But I was talking about that maybe the FDIC covering accounts, even though they're not officially required to do so. Because of
Oh,
the
you mean like activist FDIC in a way?
yeah.
I can see that. That's interesting. But it's I guess it would have a lot more filings to look at. One
But
thing I thought.
can I interrupt first?
Yeah,
I
please.
mean, here's the thing: they were well aware. The FDIC was well aware that this was going on, and that they sent a letter
Yes.
to them. They sent a letter to the banks. But what did they do to alert consumers that had money there? Did they do anything? They put an ad in the paper? Did they, tweet it 100 times? Like, what did they do? And
Well,
I don't think they necessarily had a duty to do so, but they certainly had no problem running around and telling, I guess the peasants don't get the same notice, but one could argue that we should know better. I guess I don't know. It makes me sad. I wish that they would be activists and come forward and be like, all right, just one time we're going to do this, but never, ever, ever again. But I guess we'll
They
see.
did send a cease and desist. I'm about to post everything that they did do in the interim while it was all happening in real time. I'll post the link.
Right, but what I'm saying is, it would have been nice if everybody that had money was, informed directly by the FDIC about that, or maybe they would have. I don't think that they required Voyager to contact each person that had money with them and say, "Hey, the FDIC has informed us that we're assholes. If you want to remove your money, you better do it like now because it's not covered." Like, I don't think anyone else gave notice of anything.
here's the fucked up part. The FDIC notice came out after the customer deposits were frozen.
Oh, yeah. Well, never mind.
Look how, dude, you look how dark that is.
Yeah.
You know how dark that is? That's dark.
Gee, thank you. Right. Yeah.
That's dark. You come out after the deposits have been frozen. I don't trust nothing anymore,
I wouldn't mind socializing that loss for our military and veterans. But, that's just my opinion.
Gary, what do you think?
I feel like there seems to be a little bit of confusion about the system, the FDIC, and how they're supposed to work. The economy that we purport to endorse and operate in is called capitalism. And so the word capital and the word capitalist are implied here. Not implied, they're by definition in this. A capitalist is not a person with $100,000, $200,000, or $300,000 that's investing in. It's not a person with 500,000 or $1 million. A capitalist in today's economy is someone with billions of dollars or at least hundreds of millions. So now when we take that knowledge and apply it to the current system and what our understanding is of how it's supposed to work, none of the military people are protected under the FDIC, partially because they were in, like some of them were in like direct breach of federal law when they invested in cryptocurrency while in the military. Some of them and the rest of them because they're not fucking millionaires. So when a thing like this happens, it is not a bug in the system that the consumer accounts were frozen. and then the notice was put out. It is a feature of the system that the large investors probably received notice well in advance. And that's what caused the cascading problem that destroyed the consumer accounts themselves. If you have doubts, look at every single economic action we've taken in the last 20 years when it comes to trying to recession proof the economy. It is never addressing individual needs, but always addressing corporate desires. And I'll leave it there.
Oh, I agree with that. I mean, I agree with that. Sure. I mean, and I was unaware that that was against regulation, but I guess that would make sense. Um, but yeah, no, I'm not talking about the systemic problems. I'm merely pointing to the what's insured and whether an activist FDIC could maybe cover chosen classes. And I know that that's just not going to happen, and that that's life. I know, but yeah, I mean the whole system is problematic, and the chances of us getting real reform to address that are slim to none. And it's probably going to be it's going to take in my opinion, a complete collapse to lead to real change. And even then, we'll just be probably right back with the same predators, and but there's I don't really see a way around that except for some sort of um, except for a decentralized world currency. So it is what it is.
I did put the article down there that came straight from the FDIC when that happened in the comments, and I just also put an article about the liquidations that just happened since the market pummeled after the inflation discussion happened. Yeah, it's an amazing thing going on out here, and it's pretty scary for some.
Well, what's kind of sad is that there's a certain type of doom scroller that has been seeing this sort of thing coming for a long time. And every time we think that it's going to be this cycle, it ends up being maybe the next one. But I think this time, maybe this time is different. There's a lot of, I agree that there's a lot of things happening that could lead to real change this time. And, I pray for that.
For sure. My indication always is the dollar index. And since the dollar index was at its all-time high, the highest it's been in 20 years, normally when that happens, all the other markets suffer. And we've seen the huge increase in real estate, and it's starting to come down in a lot of places like where I'm at, where if we would have put our house on the market like a few weeks earlier, we would have been in amazing shape. But once we put it on the market at a certain time, that's when that real estate market in our area is starting to crash. And so then you're just going to start seeing it across the board, the stocks, everything. And I think this time,
Mm-hmm.
while
Mm-hmm.
everybody was thinking about it, I think this time is really the time that's going to affect people. People got these stimulus checks, they threw them in to crypto thinking they could be the next millionaire and had to pull it all back. Like I think there's a lot of things happening in businesses having to close on the back of a pandemic. Now this inflation and just the instability in fiats in different places of the world. I think we have a lot on the table that has a lot of wrecking ball capacity, and I think this bear market will put a lot of people down, but it will allow a lot of people to accumulate to build for when it takes off again. I think it's scary for people jumping in and not understanding any investment space, but I think it is a good opportunity for people who do understand it.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, but again, is it a systemic change that will result? Probably not, because the same people that benefited and basically caused this round will be, you know, feeding and doing the same thing next time. Oh well.
For sure. I see your point exactly there, because those are the people that never get wrecked the way that they should when they are putting things into play that hurts the middle class and lower class. And they'll always be on the top of the that podium until somebody knocks them off.
Yeah, I mean, you can't hate your enemy, so to speak, And I've always been an advocate of institutionalists, being an institutionalist and combining old and new rails and doing that in a way where over time the new will replace the old, and maybe some of that bad behavior will go away.
Yeah, I guess unless you can pay a lobbyist, you might not be able to get that opinion across, I guess.
True. But it is what it is. I mean, it's always been
it's the reason I gave up my licenses over a decade ago. When I saw it, I couldn't unsee it, and I was like, "All right, I'm out."
The only there will be change for the better, because I think that the higher ups are becoming increasingly nervous that they're going to be eaten alive, and their skin peeled from their bones, and they're going to be hung from the streets. I mean, I think that it only takes 3% or even less to start a real problem, And I think that the summer riots in 2020 are still in people's minds, and people are angry about that, and they're going to see even more problems coming down the pike in the next 2 quarters. And I think people are just going to start losing their shit.
Well, I think the economic impact is sublimating into violence.
Exactly.
That's what I see.
There's no consequences. I mean, people see it all over. They're seeing like their culture being consumed and thrown out. And I think there's just a lot of now it probably won't happen, but there's a pretty decent combination of factors that could lead to not a civil war, but a class war. And because I think that people are starting to notice more and more. Maybe this is through memes, but they see that some of this stuff is just bullshit. And I think when the more people recognize that, I think that could lead to a class war between everybody and the 1%. And I don't think the 1% wants that. So I think that there will be some changes to try to put that off, at least anyway, which might be a good thing.
Well, I mean, typically the way you avoid that is you just set the classes against each other. Find amongst yourselves, children.
But what I'm saying is that enough people are starting to see through that, and I think that the 1%, I guess, I think that they're
Yo,
whoever
that's super optimistic, and I love it. Here's the reality. In the state I live in, there is overwhelming support for political actors who support the conspiracy theory of the overthrown election in the state of Indiana. There's overwhelming support for people who actively back and believe in the idea that Donald Trump put forth about the last election being invalid. When you stop and think about that, that's not a big deal. It's just Indiana. Okay, so how's
sorry, I lost you there, Jerry. Can you guys?
I did too.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Can you say the last part again? Do you mind? Uh-oh, somebody came and got Jerry. Did someone swat Jerry? Who did that? Oh no. Poor man. Oh well. I've been upsetting people so much today, Mike, that they're literally leaving the room. Have you noticed that? I know that's what happened.
Look, if you aren't pissing someone off, you're not saying anything of importance.
don't think I pissed him off. I'm really.
No, he'll be back. Yeah, it's you know what it is. A lot of the times when people drop off, it's because they're using an AirPod. That's my hypothesis.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
and I'm still here, even about the raisins and cookies. You
yeah.
know,
I thought you would have lost you there. You know, look, if we can agree to disagree about cookies, maybe we can cooperate economically without agreeing politically.
Sure.
exactly.
But as far as the elections go, that conspiracy theory is something perpetuated by both sides. And as far as I'm concerned, I'd like to. I need to see like the hard evidence, and that needs to go in front of a court, and then the court decides. And so far, the courts have said that there's no such thing. So that's what as an institutionalist, I rely on what the courts tell me is important. Jerry, you're back. We lost you. What's that? We didn't hear that last part. We didn't hear like the last, Jerry, I'm sorry. We didn't hear like the last 30 seconds of what you said. Do you mind repeating it? I'm sorry. If that's okay. Mike, now he's ignoring me. I mean, now I'm
No,
just.
I think he's having issues because he
Oh,
just dropped out
no.
again.
And I can't hear him. I can't hear him. If
I
he's
Yeah.
was about
talking.
to leave because I thought I was rugging myself, so I was going to leave and come back.
And 99% of the time, when I make a comment like that, I'm kidding. Like I'll call people my drunk Twitter husband if they get obnoxious, and apologize for them. Like that's also a joke. Otherwise, I'd be like a polygamist, or is that what I'm talking? Yeah. So I'd be.
It would be interesting to like have fun with trolls, where if people got like annoyed with someone enough that they were like, "Look, I just don't want to hear this anymore." You could pretend that they were rugging. Like you could be just like, "Hey, yeah, that," and then VGX token auction, and yeah, but
Awesome. I love that. You do that well too, by the way. I
oh,
think
because
you've
I've
done.
like because you ever want to end a call and you don't know how to end it? Oh,
Yeah.
oh, look.
Uh-oh. Now Mike's really rugging. Now, so when Mike rugs, he's probably just ditching us because we're boring. How dare you, sir? Webb, tell me more about raisins and cookies.
I just spent a lot. I can't get cookies. I just filled up with gas.
Oh, Lord.
No, the cookie part is it's kind of like everything else. People, you can have good cookies with people who have knowledge and capability, can generate wonderful cookies, and then you got guys that just generate cookies to generate cookies, and wrapping it all the way back to what he was talking about was the things that are in place now, the structural things are really structurally sound. It's just those who operate within it have corrupted, in a lot of areas, not all areas. And the more local you are, to me, the easier it is to be able to see it and be able to have something to do with it. But when it gets centralized, like in DC, I mean, they're there. In the beginning, they weren't there to be for themselves, but to be for us. And now they're there for them and what they can get and what they can benefit from. And people recognize that, but yet they still don't change those kind of people. And people who think
Yeah.
that are those kind of people go to change it and they get changed. So it's I've seen too many go that were good get corrupted. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, they go along to get along, or they get told that if they don't support something, that when they want something, it won't be supported. And
exactly, you don't march by our tune, you're not going to get any support. I mean, I ran into that in local politics, county level, and different things, and different programs, projects, anything, any money, and it always related back to money. And it wasn't money coming out of the locals' pockets. It was money being given by some grant or by some state, law being passed. And then it became who's going to control it. Because I argued during one election to centralize and train the police officers to be firemen and the firemen to be police officers and use that synergy, and also to consolidate all the schools and law enforcement into the county, one system and make it synergistic and let them utilize the resources